Hello, everybody, and here we are finally back with the Warchief Club. I am, of course, Draxos, replacing Liquid, the one, the only, the fake conqueror that you expect from Rising Empires, who will be telling you everything you need to know about these games, and you will see very soon why I am right and why everyone else's opinions is wrong. Isn't that right, Manius?
That is absolutely right, yeah.
You see, I know I am infallible. I know exactly what's going on. For example, I know that we have SAS and Gullyd3ck3l coming up in a best of 5 grand finals, which I am personally excited for. I am a little bit sad, I will admit, because they did ban both Lakeside and Four Lakes. So the two most fun maps are not going to be in the map pool today.
Yeah, I was excited to see Lakeside being played. I personally don't like playing on that map, but watching pros get on it is pretty fun. We will see Golden Heights potentially, so there is a hybrid map going on. And I'm also happy that Mongols is in play, in theory at least. So, talking about Mongols, so we do have the draft on screen. SAS getting away with Byzantines, Abbasid, Jeanne d'Arc, Mongols, Delhi, and French. So a lot of, yeah, you could say cav civs, a lot of aggressive civs as well, but you could also turtle a little bit if you wanted to. Gullyd3ck3l with Chinese, Malians, Japanese as well. Order of the Dragon, Ayyubids, and English. So looking at that, and keeping the maps in mind, who do you think we have a winner, a draft
3-0
winner?
for SAS. 3-0 for SAS. Nothing else happens. Easy game, easy life. We are done in 40 minutes.
Wow. Okay, that is some very strong
Like that is
predictions.
what I'm calling it. In reality, I do think that this is probably a 3-1
Okay.
for SAS. I think that he definitely has the stronger civs for the taking here.
Uh-huh.
Um and we should be fine from there. Uh But yeah, like I don't know, like he got Byzantines, he got French, he got Delhi, he got a lot of really good civs here that I think are very good on these maps. And on the other side, we also have like Gullyd3ck3l has Japan, which is only good on one map, which
Mhm.
is Golden Heights, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really feeling the excitement there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
For Japan. I'm not feeling the excitement for English overall. I think that
Mhm.
Sif has kind of like English and Ayubits have both kind of taken a dive lately in terms of like what we get out of those civs. But on the counterpoint, we also have Order of the Dragon from Gullyd3ck3l, who has definitely risen in like there's definitely been some Order of the Dragon stocks
Mhm.
going up here. If you know what I mean, like people have been really enjoying that civ.
Yeah, definitely. I think Order of the Dragon is in the right hands, can be a very capable Civ, and I know that Gullyd3ck3l is very good with HRE and Order of the Dragon. So I don't think that he is too unhappy about that draft. But if I would have to give someone a slight edge, I would say SAS kind of got the better draft. But then again, I'm very biased because I'm a Mongol Byzantine main, and so yeah, there's
Oh
that.
God, he plays Byzantines.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, all of my standards and expectations are they're
You,
just gone.
you know,
I
to
don't
make it
know.
worse, I'll let you guess
Oh
which
no.
landmark I prefer going into Castle Age as the Byzantines.
Oh God, he's a gulper too. Oh chat, why am I playing with a fucking gulper? Oh no.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
I don't think he's sorry.
No,
I
not
don't
really.
think he's
Not really.
sorry. Yeah,
I'm very happy about that.
that's what I thought.
Yeah. Well, someone has to do it, right? I can't let Jiggly have all the fame there, so I need to do it as well.
Oh, okay. We're blaming Jiggly for it now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, as
I
far as I know,
mean,
he's getting blamed for everything, right? So might as well do that.
yeah, man, when you put it like that, you're not wrong. Um. Okay. I mean, Oh gosh. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, blame Jiggly, ban Jiggly. I don't know why he's allowed to do anything.
Right.
Um.
Uh,
That is perfectly fair.
Yeah. So both players, as far as I can, oh, okay, they just entered the game, so we should be able to jump right back into that. Um, and yeah, there it is. You're in my group. Let's hit the observe button and hope for less than 5 minutes observer delay.
Oh no.
So,
Uh, so one thing that we do not have. Let me pull it up for you guys, chat. Do is it Scooby Doo? Where are you? Do oh oh aha.
uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. So that was the thing I was going to ask. So we are on Pigeon's View for our first map, and it is China versus Japan. First, not versus Japan. China versus Byzantines. I'm just naming civs I hate right now, and we only have a 2-minute delay, which isn't bad. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So what do you think of this matchup? And what do you think of this match? What do you think of this map? I'm just gonna, throw a lot of questions at you real quick.
Ooh. Okay, let's start with the matchup, and then at some point we will be able to see the map, and then I can maybe go more into detail what I think about the matchup on that map.
That feels like cheating, chat.
Doesn't feel like cheating. Um, I don't know. I mean, you gotta give me like I'm grasping at straws here. Come on, you gotta give me something. Um, I don't know all the
What do you
maps
mean you're
like
What
inside
do you
out.
mean you're grasping at straws? You're the Byzantines player.
I am the Byzantines player, yes, but I mean, like,
You're
you know, the last time the Pigeons View has been on the ladder, it has never been on ladder, or like, you know, so I haven't played too much on it. I know it's
Oh my
kind of like
gosh.
the improved high view version, and so
I
I
mean,
do like the
so
Byzantines on that one.
so the big difference between this map and, if I remember correctly, the big difference between this map and High View is that the trade posts are no longer in the corner,
Hmm.
which makes it so that the infinite games are far less likely. And I think there's a slight adjustment in terms of where your forests can be. Not a very big one though. And yeah, so we are properly in game. We properly see what all is going on here.
Yeah, and so
And
that's why I wanted to wait for in-game. So the thing is, so here's the town center for the Byzantines. Here's the more or less forward berries. And then there's a couple more berries which are kind of close to his base actually, you know, like not too far off here. And so Byzantines are gonna love that. And there's like more berries in the corner, you know, over here and then over here. So overall, that's very nice. But then again, it's also easy for your opponent to sneak up on you because there's a ton of stealth forest on that map. So Chinese could play very aggressively, you know, those classic, you know, Jugenu feudal all-in kind of things, and then you kind of getting dented in as a Byzantines, I guess. But overall, I like the matchup, and I think Byzantines is in a good spot to make it work.
so one thing I'm going to point out about the map is I feel like, I don't know if it's just the spawn that we have, but there is more stealth forest on this one map than there is on a normal high view map, and I find that to be mildly entertaining.
Yeah.
Anyway, beyond that, the big thing that I think is kind of important, the big thing I think is kind of important about the matchup here is if Gullyd3ck3l is able, if SAS tries to go for a gulp build,
Yeah.
and Gullyd3ck3l is able to stop him from doing it with a Zug Rush and prolong the game, I think the game gets better for Gullyd3ck3l. If Gullyd3ck3l is, as the Chinese player, is not able to successfully stop a gulp build, I think he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And I think if the gulp is successful, he's going to lose the game. Now, the big thing here is, you know, Keshigs are very good against Zoogs and are very good at harassing China specifically. Like, it is. I think that this is probably one of the. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the better matchups for. Probably one of the better matchups for Byzantines, and I think we're going to see why very soon. I don't think that there's any way that we're gonna get that critical mass out of Gullyd3ck3l that he needs to be able to stop a fully set up Byzantine play.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't think though that we will see the gold build because it is not the standard build, I would say. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a Cistern of the First Hill on, Warchief Club. So whenever I, watch the games or observe them, I cast them, it's always the Golden Horn Tower. And so I don't expect the gold build here. It would be fun though. I personally prefer it, but it's a personal preference, so it doesn't really mean anything.
No, and I completely get what you mean, but the thing you have to keep in mind with the reason why we don't see Gulp build very often in tournaments such as the Warchief Club or Garrison or the Winter Masters is because of the way drafting works, players are not going to be picking. Players are going to try and do their best to avoid playing against Byzantines with a civ that is going to be bad against Gulp.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a situation where I think Gullyd3ck3l got outdrafted, and he is in a situation where he is in this position where this is actually one of the times where Gulp is good, which we don't normally see. Because a lot of the times when we see, one thing I've noticed a lot of the times when we see Byzantines is it's against civs like Delhi.
Yeah.
Which are like one of the hardest counters to the Gulp concept because they're able to hit so hard. Or I know, I think we saw earlier today, like Byzantines versus who was it? Order of the Dragon, which again is a very feudal aggressive civ. Now, right now, everything that we're seeing out of SAS does indicate Gulp. Does not indicate Gulp actually, because he is so heavy on his wood, and he's not going for fast castle as fast as he can. Like he is getting double broad axe, and he does have what is that? 5 villagers on wood, 6 now.
Yeah, 6
which is
now.
Far more than you normally get if you're doing the Gulp build. So everything I just said, while right, is not applicable to this situation because remember, chat. Everything I say is correct.
Yeah, which is just great, right? Like everything you said is correct, but it's not applicable anyway now. So
hey, it's right some of the time. It might, 30% of the time is 30% of the time it's 100% of the time, right? Something like that. Anyway, SAS does, by the way, see that we have archery range and stables coming up for Gullyd3ck3l, so he is aware of what his opponent is doing. He does know that Gullyd3ck3l is playing 1 TC. And that for now there is no Song Dynasty.
Right, yeah.
Now the real question is, chat. I mean, I'm not. I can't pretend it's really a question, but like, is the stable? Does he actually plan on getting horsemen, or is this just for pro scouts? Like, is there even an the tiniest belief that Gullyd3ck3l is gonna make a feudal horseman? Because I don't think he is.
No, I mean, if you ask me, and I'm not Twitch chat, I would say there's no way in hell that he's going for horseman, because right now he is facing off the Limitani. That's the first thing basically he sees. He is losing a scout, by the way. That's unfortunate, and he already has the archers in play. And yeah, SAS is also going with longbowmen actually in this case, so not archers, not the regular ones. So yeah, okay, I guess in this case we do see the horseman, so I'm just eating my words.
Oh wait,
now.
yeah, he did make a horseman.
Yeah, so
right.
just forget everything I said.
Yeah.
Even a broken clock is right 2 times a day, and I'm probably apparently even less than that. So we do see horsemen, we do see archers, so that's a good comp here going out by Gullyd3ck3l, trying to match what SAS is doing here. But yeah, for now he's just going for pro scouts, not investing too much into that. Only 3 scouts for now. He did lose some, so I think he had 4 or something.
No, he had more scouts than that. He lost some of them.
Yeah, I definitely did lose
I think
some.
he had. I think Gully was up to 5 scouts at one point, and I think he just lost. I think he lost 2 of them. I know he lost 1, but I think he might have lost the second one as well. But yeah, we do have a small skirmish here breaking out with these Limited actually getting caught out a little bit, but I mean, the English longbowmen are really good, even if they're not in front being played by the English.
Yeah, they have no loyalties to the nationality necessarily. So longbowman is a longbowman, no matter who buys it, who builds it. And we have a bunch more coming out here as well. So SAS is going for some early olive grove transition just to keep the olive production on, and potentially have some more longbows in queue rather soon. And the horsemen are a good counter against the regular archers. They also, let me check real quick. They also, no wait, that was the wrong player. They don't have the Expilatores yet, so they could, SAS could go for that one, and then do a little bit more damage against workers, and then also get some bonus gold if he kills some villagers, which could be hard to do. Like most of the villagers here for the Gullyd3ck3l seem like to be underneath the town center. Then we have the Barbican coming up here. So Gullyd3ck3l playing it very defensively for now, adding in a blacksmith.
Yeah, and
Could lose
SAS
a
is
couple
trying to get.
villagers here.
Yeah, and SAS is unfortunately getting hit by a couple of horseman raids out of Gullyd3ck3l that are causing him a surprising amount of issues. Like, there's not enough spearmen here, so these longbowmen are doing their best, and we actually see, oh god, what's that called? Acritoid defense come out for the villagers to try and force the horsemen away. Chad, I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't say any of these Greek words. Like, we're in a lot of trouble today. But thankfully, there's only one Byzantine game. But yeah, but yeah, so like he managed. So surprisingly, so far, neither player has actually lost any villagers, which is not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah, that is a little bit surprising, but at the same time, it speaks volumes to the ability of those players to react in time. You know, like for example, if I would play the Byzantines in this situation, I might have lost 2 villagers. You know, I admit it. That could possibly be. And SAS is just on another level, and same as Gullyd3ck3l, so they will not lose villagers just by being a little bit careless here. SAS is hovering around the base by Gullyd3ck3l, trying to find some damage, but there's no villagers on gold. As I'm saying that, one is moving over. So could find potentially a villager here. Is moving in now.
What's really surprising to me, beyond this, oh, is he gonna get? I don't think he's gonna get him. No, that villager's safe, unfortunately. But no, oh no, Gullyd3ck3l is moving in on the other side of the map. He is raiding, like he is committing to a big raid on SAS's base, forcing villagers off the gold or forcing villagers off that berry pack, trying to keep them from being able to do anything over there. Recognizing that denying oil is the best way to keep this going.
Yeah, if you deny the oil, you can make sure that there's no more longbows, and then SAS would have to transition into archery ranges, and then go for some regular archers as well, which he doesn't want to do, obviously. And so hitting the oil always a good way of hurting the Byzantines. Also sneaking in and grabbing some deer that SAS would love to have. Now horsemen are in a tough position.
Yeah, and we have this small skirmish on Gullyd3ck3l side as SAS tries to just force his army back so he can stay safe that way. But no, Gullyd3ck3l has been very good about getting deer. He has gotten probably 2.5 deer packs, I would say. And there's a deer pack on the north side of SAS's base that's actually missing a few deer, so I think those got picked up as well. Not just the deer at the front of his base.
Yeah, Gullyd3ck3l is going ham on those deer. There's over 30 villagers here working on the deer in overtime, being supervised here by the IO as well, adding in another barracks for good measure just to be able to better deal with the horsemen. Because yeah, SAS does have quite a nice amount of army here, a good tricom, horseman, archer or longbows, and then the Limitani. But at the same time, Gullyd3ck3l is going up with the astronomical clock tower, so we're gonna see reliably reasonable castle age timing here by Gullyd3ck3l. Potentially some Nest of Bees as well, which they will eat up the Limitani longbows just like there's no tomorrow.
I know this is probably going to surprise you, but I actually think this is the wrong landmark.
Huh, really?
So going up with the Imperial Palace, because it gives such a wide, like such a large amount of vision. I think somebody said that on a 2v2 map, it is like 27% of the map is like inside of the vision range of that building by itself.
Huh.
Considering on how much stealth force is in this map, that is a huge advantage to have. And let's face it, Siege is kind of not as good as it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
just
that's right.
having that vision in a situation like this would just be so important for Gullyd3ck3l. And like, don't get me wrong, like, you know, nested bees are good. And I'm not saying, you know, oh, you should never build an astronomical clock tower again. Like, I'm not saying anything crazy like that. But I think especially like on High View and Pigeon's View, I think these maps are like designed for the Imperial Palace. By the way, we do see a little raid on SAS' side of the map get shut down, and also SAS is going up to the Golden Horn Tower.
Yeah, so no surprise there again with the Golden Horn Tower. It is a very good landmark. I don't hate it. It's just, again, my personal preference, but that's beside. So Golden Horn Tower coming up there, not too far behind Gullyd3ck3l, and Gullyd3ck3l hasn't, as far as hasn't grabbed any relics as of yet. So SAS can still grab those relics and get himself some nice passive oil income by placing them into the Grand Winery.
So you say that SAS hasn't gotten any relics yet, or Gullyd hasn't gotten any relics yet. He did build 2 monasteries, so he's making two monks at a time to try and get those relics faster. I think this is probably going to be a 4-1 relic game, unless SAS is able to find and kill the monks on their way. But I don't think he's gonna have time to, because Gullyd3ck3l is moving out to deny the berries again.
Ooh, that's a nice raid. So yeah, SAS does have 2 horsemen over there on the south relic. But yeah, there are actually a couple monks now grabbing, so 2 relics on the way here for Gullyd3ck3l. He's leaving the more safe one for now, and then he potentially can grab this one as well, and then there's the one all the way over there on SAS' side. So yeah, I mean, again, just eating my word, he is going for the other relics that I didn't account for at the moment. So getting some nice income there as well. Very nice.
Yeah, and we have a big raid in Gullyd3ck3l's base as SAS runs in with a bunch of horsemen and is killing scouts, villagers, and trying to get an Imperial official. But even as that raid starts, we also have a clash in the center for the longbowmen have caught out some of Gullyd3ck3l's army and took a fair few pot shots, killing one or two archers and spearmen over there. So this is we are definitely getting to a stage where this is going to be very, very action packed, and I do want to restate what I said previously, which is that I think the longer this game goes, the better it gets for Gullyd3ck3l. I think that, Byzantines, unless we get into the ultra late game, I want to clarify that. If we get into the ultra late game, then where gold is just the most valuable thing in the world, then I definitely think it's going to be better for SAS at that point, because you have a free resource in oil.
No.
But until such time as we do get there, I think that this is just getting better and better for Gullyd3ck3l, especially since he already has a relic lead, and he's probably going to secure it. Oh no. Well, I say that, and then the monk gets caught out by. Oh no, and then Gullyd3ck3l's army gets caught out by SAS as he was trying to save the monk. Oh no, this is awful. The archers and the Zoogs are doing their best to try and get everything down. There's a random Wololo to threaten like 5 spearmen.
Getting a scout at least, so that was a good Wololo attempt here, trying to divert the little army here. But yeah, now we see the clock tower nest of bees here coming out, and just a lot of army here still standing for Gullyd3ck3l. SAS is retreating for the time being, doesn't want to lose the longbow mass that he has, and losing still the monk here, so he will have to go there with another monk at some point. But yeah, Byzantine Eco, the thing is, it is very strong. They should build another mill, I guess, but I don't think that Byzantines fall off too hard in the late game. Yeah, as you mentioned, because of the oil, it can be very, very strong, and it just really comes down to who at the end will be more gold hungry. Cataphracts here in the back of the, or in the front of the base rather, in the wood line, doing some nice damage here with the trample. And finding a couple villager kills, so SAS actually, you know, 7 villagers dead now on Gullyd3ck3l's side. Gullyd3ck3l is still ahead a little bit because of the Song Dynasty.
Well, that also does. He's actually not as far ahead as you think because the eco count also includes imperial officials.
Right. Yeah.
So it's that he's actually only had 1 villager because imperial officials are dumb. And I have not ranted about China nearly as much as I should this game because the Civ is dumb. Anyway, yeah, no, I think Gullyd's actually in a very good position here. He has a 3rd relic on the way back, and he still hasn't collected that south relic. So he's going to be in a 4-1 relic split, which is exactly where you want to be, especially against Byzantines, because you know they do have the Grand Winery and everything like that. So just denying resources and capabilities from him is going to be good.
Yeah.
And we also have Gullyd3ck3l is doing something really surprising to me. If you look into the middle of the map, he is actually just on one of the big stone vein or big gold veins just because he can, basically.
Yes, you can, yeah.
And like he set up so he has a tower to be able to hide in, but the tower also watches the sacred site to deny that as well. So it's really kind of clever. But unfortunately, these villagers are going to get caught out, and he's not reacting in time enough. Oh no, one of the villagers goes down. Okay, I mean, the other guys managed to hide, but I think this might be a source of a fight.
Yeah, now we're having more cataphracts moving in, as well as with the monk, who can provide some nice healing here on the cataphract, so they're not dealing or losing a whole lot of damage here from the outpost. He does have an emplacement here, so it does quite a lot of damage here, the sprinkled one, but yeah, needs to repair it pretty quickly. But then again, villagers being exposed here, losing a cataphract though, so that's not too bad here for Gullyd3ck3l. And now his army moving in. There's a lot of nest of bees here actually on his side as well. So for now, yeah, SAS needs to retreat.
Yeah, I think that Gullyd3ck3l is definitely going to try to use this as an opportunity, as a staging point for his attack, where I think he's going to try and like hit these palisade walls and get onto this forward winery and the vineyards that are all around it, where you know the heart of SAS's economy is. Now, one thing I do want to point out that we haven't really mentioned is SAS is floating a lot of food. And I don't mean like a little bit of food. I mean like it's actually concerning how much he has.
Yeah.
And to put it into perspective, if SAS wanted to, he could make nothing but Limitine right now and just try to drown Gullyd3ck3l in blood. And I don't think that's a good plan. Limitine are so cheap that he's basically at the point where that's what he can do.
Yeah, he
Um,
definitely could do that. The funny thing is, he would run out of wood before he runs out of food anyway. And I believe he sold a bunch of food, and um, I think that's actually like this seems familiar to me. Like when I play the Byzantines, I float so much food because my most of the units that I build usually are, I go for Kashyyyks. I go for the Eastern
mhm.
contract, and so I go for the Kashyyyks. And then I use the, obviously I use the olive oil for the Kashyyyks, and then I go for archers mostly. And so I use more wood than food anyway. And then I'm just floating a ton of food. I'm like, what do I even do with that? And then I don't have enough gold, and so just a little bit of a remacro here by SAS, and then he can easily go to Imp, and he doesn't even lose any momentum, and that's pretty crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, and the big thing with Byzantines and like what makes their macro so weird is because you want to get um because you want to get olive oil so much, that means you want to get a lot of food,
Yeah,
and it's just gonna result in you having more of one than you actually need.
yeah,
But
exactly.
SAS is moving out trying to claim this large gold vein and is actually getting denied. There is a random Wololo. Oh no, SAS got into Gullyd3ck3l's base. He's on the granaries.
It's not that random actually. Wow.
Um, yeah, I thought that was supposed to be like an APM tax Wololo, but
Hmm.
no, their cataphracts and horsemen are on top of the granaries, going to town, just picking up villagers left, right, and center. SAS has killed 13 villagers so far. And I would say probably 3 or 4 of those are with this raid alone, and he's gonna get even more soon enough.
Yeah, not to mention, so the horsemen again, they're having the Expilatores. Oh, I forgot the name, but exactly. But like the tech, where they do more damage against
Right.
the workers, and they also get 20 extra gold, and so they actually basically pay off themselves by killing a bunch of villagers, and so really effective raids here by SAS, and we do see Foreign Engineering Company coming up by SAS. So he didn't really need to step off the gas in any significant way. He did lose access to that gold vein here at least, but he will hit Imperial Age right about now.
Yeah, and even even losing that gold vein isn't as big of a deal as you might think, because he does have in the very, very top of the map, next to a berry patch of all things, he does have a 4K, a small gold vein. So he's not at a point where he has to worry about running out of gold. But Gullyd3ck3l is at a point where he has to worry about running out of just everything, because so much of his economy was disrupted for so long. And
Yeah,
Gully's actually at the point where Gully's response to this was actually to build a second TC. He's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna. I have he doesn't have Song Dynasty anymore. He is in Yuan now,
yeah.
but he's just like, I'm just gonna make up for not having Song by having the extra TC, and recognizing that he's about to be down on tech because of Imperial Age. Gullyd3ck3l is moving forward with his army and just trying to take a fight, hoping that he is able to use the siege ball. This is what? Oh my god. 8, 9, 9 Nesta bees.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Don't you
I
love
don't want to see
this?
it. I hate this so much.
Ah,
I cannot.
isn't that a
I
wet
hate this.
dream of any Age of
I
Empires
hate. I
enjoyer?
hate. I
I'm just
freaking
kidding.
hate
It's not.
Nesta bees.
I'm perfectly
I
well aware of that. It is not the wet dream, um, but it is what we see right now here, and we do see a little wall coming up. So we are gonna see the great gate house, Great Wall Gatehouse. That's the name. Coming up fairly soon here. A little bit of a raid here by SAS. So very effective here with the cataphract, just being super annoying. 26 villager kills. So by now, even though Gullyd3ck3l with the Song Dynasty and all that, he is behind in villager numbers. And as you mentioned, yeah, the villager count does include the Imperial officials. So this is looking very strong for SAS. He turned it around quite good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate to see Gullyd3ck3l is just falling apart to all of these really random raids just getting into his economy, because he's stretched way too thin. He doesn't have any. He hasn't been able to keep his walls up, and keep his opponent out of his base. Like he needs to just turn into an onion knight and just build layers and layers of walls to try and hold the map. But instead, what he does is he goes up to Imperial, matching SAS age for age, and trying to use that as he manages that. SAS is decapping sacred sets, by the way. We did have a sacred site timer there for a little bit in Gullyd3ck3l's favor, and he does have a bunch of towers on the various maps to try and help keep them secured. But unfortunately for him, that win condition did not go through, and he's actually lost two of the sacred sites.
Yeah, and so Gullyd3ck3l now he did hit Imperial Age, but he is behind.
Wait. Are there only 2 sacred sites?
Yeah, there's only 2.
We never noticed. Oh, yeah, okay. I thought there were 3, and I just didn't know where it was. I figured it was one of those instances where like 2 of the sites spawned really close to each other.
Yeah.
And there was just like a little bit of like too much on the mini map to kind of like be able to distinguish them. Is what I thought happened. I didn't realize it was only 2. Anyway,
no, it's actually just
Gullyd3ck3l had a sacred site timer. He lost it. It's unfortunate. But he is securing both large gold veins at this point. One of them with the Great Wall Gatehouse, which means it's going to be secured for a long time. But even as we say that, there have been some attempts to shell it down with the Royal Cannon. And where is Foreign Engineering Company? So this is something I'm actually a little confused by. Is we are seeing Royal Cannons come out of SAS, which great unit. Don't get me wrong. I'm not denying that. But I think that he actually should be getting Hui Pows, so that way they can blow up the Great Wall Gatehouse, because they do outrange it, and they are one of the only units in the entire game that does.
Yeah, that's one thing, and the other thing why I also like the Wei Power just a little bit more is with the Siege Workshop. I mean, I'm going to talk about it.
Gullyd3ck is moving forward. He's moving forward with the 9 Nestabees. We have a fight, sir. The Nestabees are exposed.
Oh no, and the Varangian Guards and the Landsplates on top of them. Oh my goodness, that's in the complete destruction.
No! Gullyd3ck3l, what are you doing?
No!
Where is your melee forces? Oh no, SAS is building a keep on the other sacred site. That's why all the Palace Guards all the Spearmen ran away. They were trying to stop that. And instead, Gullyd3ck3l threw away all of his Nestabees.
Oh, almost all of them.
Oh,
I mean,
no, there's only 4 left, and he's still winning the fight.
I mean, that was an amazing shot here. My goodness. Oh, wow. How did that... See, Nestabees, you know, MVP units here.
I mean, to be fair, the Great Wall Gatehouse did so much damage in that.
Yeah, that is true. That is very, very true.
And SAS has also lost control of the keep he was trying to build. It's actually about to get destroyed, so he's in trouble there. And we have Gullyd3ck3l trying to just tear down the palisade walls.
Yeah.
As he tries to break into SAS's base and to show him what is what. One of the interesting things about this game is SAS definitely has the stronger economy at this point, but his army is so much smaller that I don't think it actually matters. And we are seeing the sacred sites get established again.
Yeah, and then we have Horsemen fighting against Spearmen, which never feels good. And now we see the longbows getting in on the action here, so providing some nice additional fire onto the Spearmen and cleaning up this completely. But yeah, so one of the reasons why I like the Wei Power a little bit better than the Royal Cannon is, so the Byzantines, they do have the special tech Greek fire projectiles for counterweight trebuchets, but this also works for the Wei Power, and so that's very, very nice. Getting, 30% increased damage, and then also, with the Greek fire, dealing area damage. So, yeah.
So, I'm gonna say something that's gonna make you a little bit sad with how that tag actually works.
Tell me.
Because the bonus damage is only to the base damage of the Hui Power, which is 50. So you're only adding like 5 damage per hit.
Okay, yeah, that does make me a little bit sad, but it still engulfs the target in Greek fire, so it does area damage and fire and all that, right? I mean, it's still good, isn't it?
Yeah, but the issue is when you're hitting something as big as a Great Wall Gatehouse or a keep, you actually the footprint of the fire is entirely covered by the footprint of the keep, so you're not stopping.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, it's very good if you're trying to stop walls from being repaired, or towers, but against keeps and specifically the Great Wall Gatehouse, it actually doesn't work. Like, I get what you mean, and I get why you want it to work, because I want it to work that way too, but unfortunately it doesn't.
No, it's okay, it's okay. You win this one. You were right, I was wrong, that's fine.
Again, as I said when I came on, I am here to be correct. I'm here to educate the masses so that they can learn the truth. They can see the light and, learn of the glory that is Age of Empires 4.
Well, everybody needs a Draxus in their life, so I'm glad you're here with us today.
Chad, if you can't tell, I've been playing a lot of 40k lately, and so like that tone of like religious fervor is kind of like seeping in a little bit. Having to see the light like that. By the way, SAS is trying very hard to deny sacred sites again. He has thrown a lot of horsemen onto the sacred site at the eastern side to try and stop it, and unfortunately, it's not going to work as the Palace Guard Spearman combination the Palace Guard run in and just push them off of the point. And on the other end, a bunch of horsemen run into the other sacred site, which has 4 Springle Towers on it. Or wait, no, only 1 Springle Tower on it, because most of these aren't upgraded.
Yeah, they're not upgraded yet, so it's only this one, and villagers trying to... I don't know what exactly they're trying to do here, but maybe just stop.
They're just trying to slow
counter.
down. They're just trying to slow down the decap timer,
which they're doing by just pulling them off anyway. So that is a good job here by Gullyd3ck3l trying to hold on to the sacred site. 7 more minutes, so I don't necessarily think that this will be the game deciding factor, but it's still a nice pressure point that you can apply onto your opponent. Oh, sorry for that one. Just missed the map here. Another raid coming in by SAS.
Yeah, SAS has been very diligent in trying to get these raids off, and he's killed 40 villagers at this point in this game. He has definitely taken the lead in that regard over his opponent. And we do see, so the Great Wall Gatehouse has been under a lot of pressure because of these royal cannons taking pot shots at it. And as I say that, the Great Wall Gatehouse is 4 cannons walked up and then immediately ran away because they realized that Gullyd3ck3l's army was right there. So never mind. Yeah. I thought we were about to see a big push to get rid of the gatehouse. But Gullyd3ck3l does need to repair this. This is actually this is about to become pretty problematic for him if he doesn't do that.
Yeah, he is repairing it right now. So it was down to like 2,500 or so. The Way power here dealing a ton of damage as well with 18 range, so that is just some very nice damage. And now the royal cannons are onto that, and that should take it down. So no more Great Wall Gatehouse for you, at least until they are done repairing that.
It's kind of funny because I didn't realize that there was a hui pow there for a moment because it was so far away that my brain never considered to keep scrolling to find it. But yeah, no, the cannons and the hui pow definitely went and did a number there. So this gives SAS a lot of the breathing room he needs because he's able to get out on the map with these horsemen, and he's trying to pick up some hand cannons, pick up some necessities, pick up some villagers with these cheap units, using them as a way to be active on the map. Now, one thing that we do need to keep in mind is SAS does not have a gold income at this point. He is entirely wood and food. So the only way he's getting gold is from the single relic that he has. And because of that, he is entirely basically an entirely chaff unit with army. Limited 8 horsemen and then whatever he gets out of oil. But the other thing also is he doesn't have any techs. We don't see incendiary arrows. We don't see biology. We don't see a lot of these techs that you expect to see in a 40-minute game. Because
It-
is so cool stuff.
He doesn't even have a university at this point, so that is pretty difficult for him. Nestor Beast firing away, getting on top of the even of the royal cannons here, so needs to be careful. And horsemen trickling in again, and yeah, to your point, I mean the gold income here for Byzantines is almost non-existent. He's floating a ton of wood right now. Was floating a lot of food as well, and just spent most of that, but it's basically almost all just trash units and hardly anything of, you know, greater value. And so I think as long as Gullyd3ck3l doesn't freak out and get caught in the wrong position, he should, I think, be able to hold that for longer, just because he has access to the both the big gold veins, still has the sacred site here as well.
Yeah, no, you are completely correct. And one thing to point out is because the Great Wall Gatehouse did go down, this did mean SAS decapped, so we are no longer on that timer. But yeah, the amount of horsemen that have just come running out of SAS's base, trying to pretend that they are either the winged hussars or the or you know, it's the Rite of the Rohirrim. Take your pick for if you want a fantasy or a historical reference. And they're coming in, and unfortunately, they're just dying to the hand cannons. They're actually not able to get any significant amount of damage done in this attempt here. And what we're seeing is that, you know, trash units are trash for a reason. They're not able to. They're just not able to keep up.
Ooh, and now we see a couple of Streltsys here moving out, but they're just running into Gullyd3ck3l's forces and immediately getting killed here, so not really valuable that much right now. Monk trying to decap the sacred site, but there's still this one outpost standing. Did we lose? I believe, yeah, we did lose the Wei power here on SAS' side, so he still does have the 2 royal cannons. And slowly but surely we're actually seeing the Great Wall Gatehouse being repaired here. Chinese villagers working overtime on that one, so Gullyd3ck3l is trying to get that position back at least.
Yeah, and I don't think we're at a point where we can expect to see. I don't think we're going to see the Great Wall Gatehouse. Oh my god, that is such a tongue twister.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to see it actually get repaired. But if it ever does, if that Great Wall Gatehouse is ever fully repaired, I think it just means SAS loses on the spot, because he has lost so much of his what little map control he has around his base is going to have gone down. And as I say that, the Mangonel outposts that he has that have actually been instrumental in keeping him alive, one of them is starting to go down at the front of his base. And if this goes down, it's going to mean that, like, this is, you know, we're starting a slippery slope here, because right behind this is the vineyards. Like, is all of the olive groves, is all of the economy. And the only thing that SAS has as an advantage is his infinite food.
Yeah, and he is losing access to that very quickly. And then, not to mention, it's not only the food, it's also all the olive oil production that he has. And so very difficult for him to hold that. We do see another Wei power here coming onto the field here, and is able to, at least for the time being, push away Gullyd3ck3l just a little bit. But again, trash units be trash units, they're just dying super quickly here.
Yeah, like, getting that Hui Pow is, you know, it's neat, but if it's not killing the Great Wall Gatehouse, which hasn't been repaired yet, by the way, what's it matter? You know, like, what's it actually gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. And then also, like, you do need to have vision, because it's, you know, there's still a stealth forest. You lost your access to the tower, so you don't actually see anything. And so this is like 1,000, I believe it's 1,000, yeah, the 1,000 olive oil doesn't really help you a whole lot in a sense. So for that you could have had almost 2 nests of bees, you know, so and then it just goes down just like that. And so
Well, you say 2 nest of bees. I say like a Streltsy, a set of Streltsy and a set of Longbow.
Oh, or that, yeah,
Like,
absolutely, absolutely.
which is much better pricing. But yeah, unfortunately, the economic advantage that SAS has had for most of this game due to his stellar rating has unfortunately been, like that advantage is just no longer there anymore. Gullyd3ck3l has managed to get inside the base, and with that, he is getting all of the damage. He's now killed more villagers. Not only that SAS has killed, despite the fact that was very much not in his favor earlier, he has killed more villagers than SAS has total.
Wow.
Like SAS was at 130 villagers 2 minutes ago, and he just lost 60 in about I would say 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, that is.
As I
really
say that,
crazy.
there are bombards just in his base going to town, taking out the Grand Winery, taking out cisterns, and soon enough we're going to see it take out like the town center as well.
Yeah, this is looking very grim here for SAS. He is on level 5 cistern still, so that was at least something. But yeah, he cannot continue fighting with trash units like that. I mean, instead of if you had like cataphracts instead of all those horsemen, you could, we could talk about that. But he didn't have the goal for that, and so there's just no way for him to continue.
No, and the way that Gullyd3ck3l managed to get map control and hold on to it with with expert control really did determine that game, because SAS got to Imperial first, but he just didn't have the gold to use in Imperial once he got his elite upgrades, and that was it. Like you said, he never got
Yep.
a university. We never saw, despite how many horsemen there were, we never saw biology. We never saw incendiary arrows. We never saw, what was it, silk bowstrings. Like, all of those techs would have made a massive difference in that game if they had ever been able to be researched.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And just look at this one brutal fight. I think that was the beginning of the end here for SAS. He did go to Imp faster, so he should have had his attacks by then, but I don't know. I don't even know what exactly happened here, but that was super brutal. And then from then on, it was just a slow
that was the fight at the Great Wall Gatehouse.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
That was the fight at the Great Wall Gatehouse where Gullyd3ck3l jabated his own nest of bees, and then managed to use them and then despite losing most of them, still managed to win that fight.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. I mean, 9 Nest of Bees, and Clock Tower Nest of Bees, by the way, so they're a little bit tanky, more tanky than the regular Nest of Bees, and so you could tell, and uh, pretty good KD as well, for Gullyd3ck3l. I mean, yeah, most of it, okay, was trash units, true, but still, not to mention, relics and all that, so, wow. I mean, kudos to Gullyd3ck3l. That was an insane game that he played, and I didn't like, in between, I was not certain that he could take it actually, but he did. Well, no, never mind. That was the other way. So let's see. That was the first game, yeah. So Gullyd3ck3l 1-0 for now against SAS with the best of 5. They should be in the drafts already for the next civ. Let's take a look at the chat here for them.
I didn't realize we had swapped over, and I was eating a piece of candy on stream.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which is not what I had intended whatsoever.
Well, we're providing peak content, so
it's peak something. I'll say that.
it is.
So we are on Golden Heights, and it is, unsurprisingly, the 2 best civs on Golden Heights.
Unsurprisingly, let me just fixing up a setting here.
It's Japan and Mongols.
Oh my!
Like, the only map you can play Japan on in this entire draft is what we're gonna see it on.
My prayers,
which is not surprising in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's not. It's not. But my prayers have been answered. We are finally seeing a Mongol game coming out of SAS, and then Gullyd3ck3l is gonna play the Japanese. Wow. That is something. So Golden Heights. Let's switch up the map here. Golden Heights. And then this one.
All right. So this is unfortunately a map I have experience with. Which
Unfortunately.
you can take as you will. I have a love-hate relationship with this map because it either goes very well for me and I have a lot of fun with it, or I am just angry the entire time, and there is no in between. But it is definitely going to be an interesting one. I think we're going to see I think this is definitely SAS's map to lose is how I would describe it. This matchup is one of the most one-sided matchups in the game. Like, I think it's up there with classic Malian Ottoman for how bad it is. Or another comparison would be classic French Mongol. So I think that this is definitely SAS's map to lose. I think he is probably going to end up getting this one. And I think we're going to see a very long Dark Age into a very bloody Feudal Age. And that's assuming that Gullyd can even get a dock. Because if Gullyd can't get his dock built, he is in so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited for that map. I played it just recently in ladder 2 times. I random French. I won both games, so it was like a little bit differently played than we're gonna see it this time around. I did invite you, so you should be able to.
I do not.
I'll invite you one more time, but that's gonna be the last time. Then you're on
Okay.
your own. All right.
I feel like that's not how this works, but okay.
You might be right. You might be right. All right. So we
I feel
got
like I'm just
everything.
getting in trouble with things,
Yeah, you know.
which, to be fair, that happens. So
All right.
But-
So Gullyd3ck3l in yellow playing the Japanese against SAS in blue, playing the Mongols on Golden Heights. I'm really excited for that. Gullyd3ck3l is. Let's see if the score is right. Yes. So Gullyd3ck3l is up 1-0. So SAS starting on the left side of the map here. Immediately moving over his town center to the wood line, get next to the gold, so that's gonna be a very safe spot for him to defend if he will face some early aggression. Then of course the Uwu is a little bit exposed, so that means no immediate dock. So you know, sometimes you could skip the Uwu and then just move out immediately to get a dock. 2 villagers pulled by Gullyd3ck3l to go for the safe dock, so a little bit of a different opener here by SAS, not going for the water immediately. Maybe even forfeiting water altogether. What do you think?
Oh no, you don't go for water as the Mongol player.
Right.
So the way this matchup gets played out is that the Mongol player is going to build a barracks, and one of two things is going to happen. Either he's going to burn your dock down if that's what you went for, or he's going to go and he's going to burn your gold down if that's what if you try to go for fast feudal. So no matter what you end up doing, you're still going to get you're still going to see the Mongol player go for an Uwu into a barracks. Is kind of the way this is going to work, and it just becomes a question of like it becomes a question of pick your poison of how do you as the Japanese player want to play this game. And Gullyd3ck3l has said he wants to play for an extremely safe dock. Like he wants to guarantee be able to get it up, and then not only is he getting it up, he's also going for a barracks immediately after, taking advantage of that cheaper barracks cost, since they only cost 75 for some reason that I cannot understand.
Yeah, don't ask me why. It felt very like I'm happy for that change when they introduced that in the last patch, but at the same time I was kind of like, why is that?
I mean, I couldn't be happy for it because I didn't understand it. If that makes sense. Like I genuinely do not understand why this change was made in the first place. But regardless, anyway, so yeah, so the idea here is that Gullyd3ck3l is going to be able to use his cheap docks, his cheap fishing ships, combined with his cheap barracks to keep this dock alive, and to try and keep the game going against double production spearmen. Now, the big thing that we are seeing is that SAS is just ignoring this.
Yeah.
Like, he just doesn't fucking care. And he's just like, hey, wait a minute. If you don't get gold, you can't age up.
Yeah.
So commit to defending your dock all you want. If you can't get gold, you can't age up. And the way that this map is set up, and the way this map is always set up, because it's one of the most uniform maps in its design, is that your gold is always going to be at the back of your base, and your secondary gold is always going to be closer to your opponent. So if SAS forces Gullyd off of this gold that like we're about to see him try to do, Gullyd will not be able to get to another gold, because in order to do it, he's going to have to walk through the reinforcements of SAS. And this game is about to end.
That is the issue. Like you see on the minimap, all the golds in the middle, like most other resources anyway. And so, how are you gonna get any gold in this game? Well, the short answer is you won't. And so yeah, he's dropping off a little bit of gold. He's down to 28. He can go for, I believe, he went for some, samurai early on, which they're only Dark Age samurai, so it doesn't really. Well,
did he go for samurai?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, he did.
Yeah, so there's
he
like
didn't have gold, right?
Yeah, so there's like these two Dark Age samurai that are running across, and it's like, cool.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Well,
like the actual way for Gullyd to age up at this point is, as hilarious as this is gonna sound, is for him to get just a boatload, and I mean a metric boatload of stone. And just have that 10% conversion rate.
Right.
But the problem is because he's getting samurai, like, you're just increasing the amount of stone that you need.
Yeah.
And yeah, like 2 samurai are going to kill these two spearmen, but SAS has 8 spearmen.
Yeah, but he doesn't have them in the front. He does have them at the dock here, and so this actually forces SAS away. And that means that Gullyd3ck3l actually can get back onto his goal, just because the spearmen here are not helping him win the fight at the front of Gullyd3ck3l's base. And so. Oh
no, you're completely right. Like Gullyd3ck3l is getting his gold, but his gold is 1, incredibly delayed, and 2, that's fine, because the entire advantage that Gullyd3ck3l has, which is his docks, is being lost. Like, all of this is going to be wasted resources soon enough for Gullyd3ck3l if they go down. And I'm not entirely certain what is going on. Okay, so SAS is aging up.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, I mean, he's happy. He won, like, he held the fight here. He killed 2 villagers, by the way. So both villagers that were here, they were killed. He forced Gullyd3ck3l to go for a pretty high amount of samurai, you could say. And as soon as he reaches feudal age, he can go for some Kashik and completely destroy, at least the samurai, not the spearmen, obviously. But or he could go for Mangodai even. Like, what do you think? Like Mangodai against that?
So the big issue with that plan is the fact that he's not getting gold at all.
Right.
Which actually tells me that we're probably going to see like hardened spearmen upgrade and just regular archers.
Oh, by the way, let me switch the.
Oh no! Gullyd3ck3l's gold is about to get attacked. He doesn't have enough to age up.
Yeah, so
he is 5 gold short of being able to age up.
Oh wow! Oh. By the way, just so you don't get confused, I just flipped the top overlay, so I actually need to flip that here as well, because SAS is more on the left side anyway.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, we have a Coca Township finally coming up.
Did you get the stone? No, I didn't get.
No, he managed to like.
Just
barely tap enough gold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, like the entire time this is happening, we have a random dock coming out of SAS that is getting burnt down, but he got a fishing ship out, which is just raining hell on all of the samurai and all of the spearmen that Gullyd3ck3l does have, which is now just creating more and more issues. Oh my god! And a second archer ship comes out.
Yeah, so 2 archer ships here.
Gullyd3ck3l is Gullyd3ck3l is going to lose water. He's never going to be able to take this back.
Yeah, I mean he can basically just camp that here and.
Well, not just that, but he's able to kill. He's going to be able to kill the fishing ships.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least, you know, most of them. So we do have an archer ship by Gullyd3ck3l coming out. But yeah, you have a couple spearmen. You can torch that down. You can torch that one down. And gotta be rough here. And in the meantime, SAS is also pulling another villager to rebuild that dock. And meanwhile, the Khan is cleaning up that one samurai here. Should win that fight still. If we're taking a look at Gullyd3ck3l's base, so he walled off the left side, which is nice, but at the same time that wasn't the angle of attack anyway, so this one spearman still guarding the gold. There's still no more gold for Gullyd3ck3l. 0 income per minute. You hate to see that. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
like Gullyd3ck3l went for an archer ship against 2 archer ships because he doesn't have the gold to build anything else.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He is mass building. That is 12 villagers for that forge to get it up, and even then, I think he almost lost another one. Oh man, this is so rough.
This is really rough. Oh wow.
And at the entire time this is going on, by the way, SAS hasn't done anything. Like, he's just chilling, you know? Like, oh, he got an archery range. He's getting wheelbarrow. Or he's not getting wheelbarrow, but, like, you know, he's got his archery range. He's getting a dock. You know, he's getting a second dock just so he can really, like, assert dominance and everything like that. Like, he's doing fine.
Shinobi barely making it out alive, so he was able to sabotage that one dock just a couple seconds before the war junk was coming out here. So what do you do in a situation like that, by the way? I mean, do you go for an outpost here just to secure the docks against the Shinobi, or how do you deal with the Shinobi effectively? Because I haven't really matched Shinobi on the hybrid map, and like the one time I did meet them, I got completely destroyed by them.
Oh, I don't think it matters. I think in the situation for SAS, in this specific situation for SAS, it does not matter. Because he's in a point where he's not, like, once he kills that first Shinobi, he's not going to see another one. And he knows he's not going to, because he's done so much damage to Gullyd3ck3l that Gullyd3ck3l is, like, mass getting gold because he just needs every, you know, ounce and, you know, flake of gold that he can get. That it's going to result in there being a it's going to result in him just losing so much. What little tempo he's gained, he's going to lose because by going for a Shinobi. So instead, we know that SAS knows that Gullyd3ck3l is going to use the initial Shinobi, and that's it. And then after that, he's going to go for Castle Age, which is what we're seeing. And as a response to that, what we see SAS doing is he's getting Mangadai, and he's securing the water. He is making sure that he has this map control so he can get the fish and get the money from the buildings. And the goal from here is to just build units. We're not going to see anything special come out of SAS. We're just going to see him try to raid. We're going to see him try to deny any resources that he can. And we're going to see the classic special of Khan's Hunters, Mangadai, and Keshos soon enough.
Yeah, and we already seen half of that composition. So Khan's Hunter in combination with the Mangadai, he did get some nice kills here on the villagers here on the gold vein. So 11 villager kills now. Way ahead here now, forcing Gullyd3ck3l's berry gatherers to retreat. The floating gate is coming up, so that is at least something that the Japanese can look forward to. But then again, if you're running out of resources, the Castle Age alone doesn't necessarily. Well, I mean, you know, with the Yorishiro, it could still, right? It could, still provide something at least, so that we're having a faster production here with the stable, but
Right. No, I know exactly what you mean, and the big thing is the big thing that we're kind of at this point for. Words are hard, chat.
Words are hard, yeah.
Yeah, so the big issue that Gullyd3ck3l is going to run into is, yes, he got this. Yes, he got the stable, or he got the floating gate, and he got the Euroshiro inside the stable. But does he have the resources he needs to consistently make mounted samurai?
Yeah,
He has.
I want to say no.
1 or 2 deer. He has 1 or 2 sheep left. He has 2 berry patches, neither of which are at full capacity. Like, he has probably about 600 food total left inside of his base, and then he has to get food somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that is where we start running. That is where Gullyd3ck3l is going to run into the issue of, yeah, cool, you got your mounted samurai, but what are you going to do? And his response is to try and get the deer pack at the front of his base, which is a great idea if it doesn't get spotted.
Yeah.
Because there are 24. Admittedly, some of this population is inflated because of the. Some of this population isn't because of the boat. Is inflated because of the boats. But there is a massive population lead for SAS.
I mean,
if
that
SAS
alone.
ever sees this, he is in so much trouble.
Yeah, and just the Mangadai numbers alone would be enough to punish that, and even if it doesn't result in all the villagers being killed, it would still result in a lot of idle time, which you can't really, you can't really have as Japanese at this point. You need every little bit that you can have. Meanwhile, we do have Kurotai being constructed at a massive speed here for SAS, so we're gonna see Castle Age for the Mongols as well, which means veteran spearmen being more easily able to deal with the mounted samurai, with the few that actually make it out on the field, and then not to mention the 20% bonus damage and the healing that you get.
Yeah, and 16 on that Kurotai is honestly really rather amusing to me.
Yeah.
Surprisingly though, SAS has not actually seen the villagers that are on this forward deer pack, which is I'm shocked by. Yeah, like he has to know what's going on.
He has to know that it's there. You see that there. I mean, your opponent is not on pro scouts, but you see that there's less deer, so you have to know about that. And I mean, he's doing fine with the mountain samurai, and as soon as he hits the elite, the veteran rather, Mangodai, he will deal a lot of damage. Some crossbows being added to the mix, and one thing I want to point out is also that besides this one outpost here, Gullyd3ck3l doesn't really see anything on the map.
The Kurotai is moving forward, and it's actually going to run into the outpost.
Or is it?
Oh, nope. He walked backwards.
Walk backwards.
SAS, why you gotta do this to me? Like, SAS, can't you hear the deer moving around? Come on, man.
I mean, he should be able to see now that they're all gone here, except for this one here.
I don't think he's
So
looking.
it actually is very close. Like, just imagine he would just move here, he would see that. But
Oh yeah.
it is what it is. Meanwhile, SAS is trying to breach through the wall here. He's idling out the wood line here, killing a couple more villagers. So 14-2 at this point. And he's grabbing some nice juicy relics as well. Which he
Oh, we
should
have a fight
get
in the
at
middle.
least
SAS
3.
now knows about the villagers.
Now he knows. Now he knows.
Oh no, he's killing so many of them too. Like 5 of them are hiding in the tower, but the rest of them are just took a bunch of damage trying to run. And the mountain samurai are trying to save them, but there's so many spears here that it's not going to matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's not enough spearmen, and they're also still hardened. Or did he get the upgrade now? I don't know.
No, they're veterans.
Ah, the veterans now. Okay, yeah, never mind. But SAS was able to breach through here, so he completely idled out this part of the map here. I mean, there's not too many villagers to be found, but still, Uh, Gullyd3ck3l has to move more and more out on the map here on the right side, which exposes him quite heavily because this is a very open map as well. Like besides the cliff here in the middle, you know, the typical cliff for mountain, for Golden Heights. This is a very open map, and he needs to be careful here, losing a couple more villagers here against the Kashik, while the Mangudai are also being quite annoying and difficult to deal with. So
yeah, that is just more and more villagers going down.
Only a few minutes ago it was 11 kills for SAS, and now it's up to 16 with him having a 20 economy lead, which is really quite surprising. And these mounted samurai are trying to get work done. Like they actually just killed a monk who was at the footsteps of the prayer tent, so denying that relic at least a little bit, causing a little bit of idle time here and there where they can, but it's just not enough. Like Gullyd3ck3l is trying his best, but
wow.
Okay.
I guess that
I think
was
he's had enough.
Yeah, which who's to blame him? I mean, that was a very, very rough game, and exactly kind of like you explained it, with a very bloody, longer few Dark Age, and then a very, very bloody Feudal Age. Um, Still, I mean, as Japanese, you try to go to Castle Age relatively soon, and he tried that, but just never was able to recover. Really from that brutal Mongol aggression there. I mean, I kind of, you know, as a Mongol, enjoy it, but still, I kind of feel bad for for someone to have to face like something like that.
Honestly, like it, the way that SAS played that early game was rather quite inspired, recognizing that going for the fishing of Gullyd3ck3l wasn't going to be a good plan, and instead pivoting to the gold and denying it the way he did was very well done on his part. And honestly, I think that the only thing that I kind of wonder about with that game is, should he have committed to that harder and longer instead of trying to also burn the fishing boats down when he did? Because it doesn't matter how much food you get out of those fishing boats if you can never age up. It's kind of like how I see it.
Right.
But I'm not really certain. But yeah, no, like that was definitely a good way of showing why this matchup is as one-sided as it is, because it never felt like our Japanese player Gullyd3ck3l here was ever in a position to win the game. It never felt like he was ever doing anything, really. Like the entire game was very, very much set against him from the start.
Yeah, and so in hindsight, I do wonder if the you know, not the Coca Township, but the Kura Storehouse, if that would have been the better option. Because yes, obviously, I mean, with the Shinobi, it's very strong on hybrid maps, but he was lacking the farm economy that, you know, the Kura Storehouse really provides to you. So, do you think that might have been a better choice instead?
No, because the thing is while we did run into the point where where Gullyd3ck3l did run out of food, he was able to remedy it quickly, and he never really was at a position where he would have had to rely on the Kura storehouse. So like getting I guess he would have gotten like 4 or 5 farms, and that would have made him a little bit safer in getting his food. I don't think it really would have mattered as much, especially because he never did get a daimyo. Because the thing with the Kura storehouse is it really pairs well with the daimyo to give you the extra income out of it. And since we never saw that, I don't think it would have mattered.
Oh,
but like I see what you mean.
No, I was just wondering. I was not saying like there would have been a better choice. I was just honestly curious if like what do you think about that, and because the Kura Storehouse is a great landmark and it provides a lot, but as you mentioned, yeah, only more or less only in combination with the daimyo, which we never saw and wouldn't have seen anytime soon, I guess. So yeah, just wondering, but yeah, probably Koka Township um, still the regular and maybe better choice, especially because it did provide something. It just didn't pay off as much as you would like to, but not having it might not have been the better choice anyway.
Yeah, and the other thing to kind of keep in mind with it is I'm trying to think. The Kura Storehouse is a passive landmark that doesn't do anything.
Right.
The Koka Township at least has the potential to do something, and more specifically, like, for example, like, let's say instead of going for 2 docks, SAS had only gone for 1, then, like, that Shinobi looks a lot better, and the damage it did do feels a lot more impactful.
Right.
So that kind of makes me wonder, like, does it real like? I think that the Koka Township definitely had a higher potential. Had a higher potential damage that map than it could have shown.
Yeah.
And Gullyd3ck3l being as far behind as he was definitely has to go for the high risk, high reward plays. And it just worked out so that the high, like, it just didn't get it. Like,
Yeah.
he got one burn off, and that was.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so we got the next matchup actually set up. Another classic, Delhi against English. This time on Rocky River. So we can actually already jump into the game. We'll be hit by a small, slight observer delay. But what are your initial thoughts if you see that matchup? You know, English, Delhi.
Easy game for SAS. He wants a 2-1. Like, this is such a hard matchup for. So, historically speaking, this has been an extremely Delhi favored matchup by a large amount.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of Delhi favor this is one of the most one-sided matches in the.
Yeah.
Historically speaking. And we did see when the king initially became a thing, when the 2TC king play started to be a thing, we started to see English players bring it back.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was because the matchup had changed. I think it was because that was when the king was fucking broken. Because that was when the king came out instantly and didn't have a 20-second delay.
Yes, that's true. That was. Yeah.
So I haven't seen this matchup in a while. And I think the reason why we haven't seen it is because, one, English just isn't being played very much right now. And 2, nobody wants to be. I genuinely think it's just nobody wants to be the English player.
Yeah,
like, in this matchup. If you know that this is a potential Delhi map, why are you picking English on it if your opponent has Delhi in the Civ?
Yeah.
The Civ pool.
I mean, two things to note and interject really quick. So when you say nobody, you know, it's not English is not being played as much and stuff, like on a high level, you know, like obviously people in chat, like yes, you will face English people in ladder, like, you know, 2 out of 5 times or something. That is how it is. But on higher levels, English is not preferred. Compared to other civs, at least. Not that it's bad in any way, but it's just not as strong as other civs in the right hands. And I also think that on a very high level, the matchup is not as one-sided, I believe, as it is in lower levels.
I think it gets worse at a high level.
Really? Do you think so?
I think that a lot of matchups, like the things that okay. So this is gonna be a little bit of an interesting kind of like delve into what makes a player good, okay? The big thing that happens when you are talking about high-level gameplay is mistakes get punished. And not just mistakes get punished, but differences in skill or not skill, but like in set up, like the balance between civs, things like that. Like that gets punished. So like what might be a small problem at a low level isn't going to matter as much because it's low level players. They're not going to take advantage of it as much. When you get to a higher level, you're going to see that advantage that you have, and you're going to exploit it far more. So, and as a result of this, because you are both recognizing what advantages you have, and you recognize how to exploit them and how to use them to the best way you can. What that means is you're going to end up in high levels at a situation where, oh yeah, this small little thing now is a big thing. So a small advantage in this matchup is now going to become a very big problem. And as a result of that, that's how we're going. That's why we see stuff like the English Delhi matchup isn't actually that bad at low levels, but at high levels, it's way worse. Like I remember this matchup being at one point something like 65%.
Yeah.
In Delhi's favor, but it's never been that bad at gold. It's never been that bad at diamond either, because at high levels, you're not going to. You're going to know what your advantage is, and you're going to exploit it correct. So I really don't see this. I don't see how SAS loses this one.
All right. Well, I'm very curious.
What I had said at the start was he outdrafted, and I think we're seeing.
Yeah, no, I agree that he outdrafted Gullyd3ck3l. At the same time, I think Gullyd3ck3l got some of his preferred civs, so I don't think he will be that he is super unhappy about his civs that he has. But I'm like, after your long and well drafted explanation about the matchup.
That was not well drafted. I felt like I said the same thing 4 times in one sentence.
Well,
my point is like, things that seem small at low level are going to be big at higher levels, and that's going to result in matchups becoming far more one-sided.
Yeah.
Is basically like the very short sum up of it.
Yeah, and that is true. Yeah.
And I think that this matchup is an excellent example of that, because again, at low level it's not as big of a deal, but at high level it's just like, oh geez, you are in trouble.
Yeah.
Also, because we had mentioned how English is, it's not played at high levels, but it's very common at low levels. I hope everyone's ready for English and their variant to be Civ number 1 and Civ number 2 on ladder next week. Get your fucking shorts ready, buddy, because we're doing it.
We're doing it.
It's gonna be it's gonna be English, and it's gonna be what is it? Knights of the Rose, and that's
Knights of the Rose. Yeah, House of Lancaster.
It's House of Lancaster.
Yeah, it's House of Like the DLC is called Knights of the Rose, and the civs, the variant civs, I believe, are House of Lancaster, and Templar. Was it Templar? No, wait. Knights Templar. It's Knights Templar. That's the other name. So yeah, gotta be very excited. I pre-ordered it already, so I am so ready for it.
I bought it for myself, and I bought it for my brother already.
Oh really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no.
Getting your Christmas gifts early, huh?
No, it's Knights. Yeah, it's Knights Templar and House of Lancaster.
Yeah.
No, his birthday's this month, so I told him he can't open it until his birthday. You want to know what the best part is?
Yeah.
If he does that, the gift is gonna expire before then.
Oh really? Oh no.
Yeah, because his birthday is more than 2 weeks away.
So he does need to open
because it's in April.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah.
So like he already accepted it, obviously, but yeah, I added on the gift, don't open until your birthday, and then he just replied with, "That means I don't get it, you idiot." And I'm like, "Oh right, you're completely correct about that. Maybe you shouldn't listen to me."
Oh wow. You should bring him on one time when we're casting. I bet he's a fun guy.
He has. So fun fact for those who didn't know, because I don't think Manius knew this. My brother actually used to be an Rising Empires admin.
What, really?
Yeah. No, my brother was a Rising Empires admin for just general staff helping with the day-to-day stuff on tournaments.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, he basically he was doing it when he was he had recovered from a he had a major surgery, and he was recovering and like couldn't work.
So that was just kind of his hobby for a while, and then once he was out of that recovery period and able to go back to work, he stopped. He stopped doing it.
Oh, okay.
So he was on for like 8 months, helped us out for a little bit then.
Oh.
Like
Whoa.
2 years ago. But yeah, he straight up said he will not cast under any circumstances. What are we wowing? Oh, one of the sheep got caught by a villager.
Yeah. Well, okay.
But yeah, so we are seeing some pretty normal stuff. Like, there's not a lot to talk about here, chat. Like, this is an Abbey of Kings into a Dome of the Faith. Like, the most standard, expected, normal things that you will see out of these civs. We are not going to see a 2TC play out of Gullyd3ck3l because going 2TC against Delhi just means you lose.
Yeah, pretty much. That's...
Like, it just means that Ghazi Raiders kill you.
Yeah. I mean, you can go for the King's Palace at some point if you want to, but in a regular 2TC play, yeah, I think that would basically kill you. We are seeing, however, a 2 mil play here by SAS, so he is looking for some Pro Scout action here. I
mean, what if Pro Scouts only cost 50 wood?
Ooh, that would basically be like 2 seconds.
That's basically what SAS is saying. Is like he's gonna get it in the second mill, so that he can get it faster. But all it's costing him is the second mill.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so
like this is a genius play on his part.
That
absolutely genius.
Yeah, that definitely. Yeah, and I believe I've seen that before, or at least I heard people talking about that. Getting a second
King coming
mill.
in, gets charged on one villager, and
the scholar already
monk
healing
is
it up.
the scholar is out healing the king. What the fuck?
What?
Okay, so
if
you want to know why this matchup is bad,
yeah, here's why.
That's not even why, but it just exacerbates the issue.
Here's one of the many reasons why it's bad. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
That king took more damage from the Ghazi Raider chasing it away than the scholar, than the villager did.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, usually, like, it is a knight, it charges in, it does some extra damage and so on. So usually there will be a dead villager by now. And now it's just like, nobody gives any damn about it. Oh, man.
So the reason why, like, that didn't work versus a normal knight, to be perfectly fair, is the king does do less damage than a regular knight.
It is true. Yeah, that is true. It's a little bit less damage, but then again, if you're having if you're having a scout with you and you're not getting blocked by pathing or whatever, you can still kill a villager fairly easily.
Yeah, it's just.
But yeah, regardless, like it just didn't do anything. So that's very, very funny.
That's just so bad. Oh, it's so funny to me.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so so we're seeing Gullyd3ck3l just like try to get horsemen up, like he's just trying to play a very mobile force. He's also walling himself in, playing very, very defensive because he knows that there are Ghazi Raiders right now. And SAS's response to this is to just build get Ghazi Raider spearmen.
Yeah.
And eventually he's going to use that force as a he's going to use that force to go and get to go and get raids, or more importantly, go and get sacred sites.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he can still wall it off, wall the sacred sites in with the spearmen. Wow, what a timing here on the berries.
Speaking of, all 3 scholars just moved out.
Yeah,
as as Gullyd3ck3l gets no damage with the king. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're 8 minutes in, so he does have Sanctity by now, and so he's just getting the remaining techs. Yeah, just moving out, getting the sacred sites. He should have them in like a minute or so. And then he has some very, very nice pressure points onto the English. He can just continue on and maybe even go for a fast castle up from that point. Because army-wise, he's looking fine. Like, he has more Ghazi Raiders than Gullyd3ck3l has horsemen. He also has a couple spearmen in the mix, and now Gullyd3ck3l needs to be careful that he doesn't lose any. So the thing is also, he does have some healing in form of the king, and so as long as he doesn't lose the horsemen, he can still heal them up, either next to the king or next to the Abbey of Kings. But he cannot lose them, that's the thing, and he just lost 2 of them. So like, just
To be fair, one of those was a scout.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, one of them was a scout, that's true, but that also means that he is now completely blind. So now he's in his base, he's
Yeah.
walled in, and like this is almost like not even like
No,
games
this
here.
is just looking bad.
This is looking
Like
horrible.
we're not gonna sugarcoat it. This is looking bad. We have all 3 sacred sites. We have a little bit delayed, it feels to me, but we do have a deli coming out. We have or not deli. We have a blacksmith coming out for our deli player here, as well as a market, because SAS realizes he's gonna get so much freaking gold per minute here that he's not gonna be able to spend it, since he doesn't want to go feudal. He doesn't want to go castle. He wants to stay in feudal.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna use all of that gold to buy resources to then be used to make more units to keep on the pressure. And this is really oh yeah, and keep in mind, the entire time this is happening, SAS is pro scouting, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't actually discussed that part, but SAS is pro scouting. He's getting a second stables, he's getting a second blacksmith, and he's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the sacred sites haven't been denied. They've been slowed down a little bit just because of a horseman here or there standing on top of them. But if this King's Palace, like, Gullyd3ck3l's response to this is to get a King's Palace and to just hope that's enough. And as I say that, SAS is raiding his base. Like, just broke down one of the walls, runs in. The King's Palace finishes on time, which means that SAS's isn't going to be able to get any damage, because that's 25 villager parking slots.
Parking spots, I love that. Yeah, so but
I couldn't garrison points, garrison slots. Thank you.
Slots. Yeah, there you go.
I was just like, you know what, whatever word works.
Well,
here.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, we all know what you meant. But yeah, so the crucial point is not necessarily that you can now raid the base, because it's still very condensed. But he just shut off all the gold access for Gullyd3ck3l, so he's down to 0. He cannot get anything in terms of upgrades. He has 1 knight on the field, 1 more in queue, and that's about it. Which, mind you, the Ghazi Raiders, they're still doing okay against the knights because of their extra damage, and so going for this around here, trying to get the units down here. Lancer almost halfway done here, the knight. He needs to be careful not to lose that one. And villagers also.
Does he run? He doesn't run. Lancer goes down.
Lancer goes down, and 2 villager kills as well. That's another 3 villager kills, so that's very good. Man at arms as well there, but
they're only feudal age men at arms though.
yeah, they're only feudal age.
Oh no, and then more of the wall breaks as well.
Wow.
Oh, just add insult to injury, because that one panel was burning down.
Wow.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh yeah. By the way, the entire time this happened, SAS aged up. Like,
Wow.
we just have a House of Learning, and SAS already has 2 relics on the way back to his base.
That is insane. Yeah, because I was looking at the resource, I was like, well, I mean, it doesn't look like Castle Age anytime soon, and he's happy to sacrifice the units here to get some idle time and equal damage. 5 villager kills, by the way. That's nice. But he's already castle
that
now.
was a very bloody bit of fighting right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the entire time that fight was happening, SAS just aged up real quick. And just didn't have to care. And I noticed it at the start, but just couldn't bring it up. But yeah, Lancers are on the way. By the way, 4 relics already in the possession of not like inside of a monastery, but in the possession of SAS, and on their way back to his base. He has 3 blacksmiths because he wants to get all of his techs as quickly as possible. And Honed Blades is going to be ready in a minute and a half. And that tech is insane, giving +3 damage to a Lancer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be really nice for the Lancers and the Man at Arms. So, yeah, now we have a couple of Lancers on the field already, so 10 in total, and that alone should be a very big issue for the English to deal with. Finally seems like he's got. Okay, I was gonna say, like, he is going to decap the sacred sites, but he actually taps out.
This is such a complete
it's a destruction.
This is such a complete destruction. Like,
it's a destruction.
there is, like, we're at SAS is at 3 sacred sites.
Oh my goodness.
And 5 relics.
Yeah.
SAS has not mined gold in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And
seems
his
about
gold gathered count is insane.
right. I mean,
Like
to be fair,
legitimately, I don't think SAS. Like if you look at the graph and you click on gold gathered, yeah. So I don't think that SAS has actually mined gold since the 7-minute mark.
I think he was actually. I think he had 4 or even 5 on gold still.
Yeah, no, I think he pulled off at probably about I think it was about the 8-minute mark where the 2 double battles on the graph is when I think he pulled out because that's when he got all 3 sacred sites.
Right.
And you just see it skyrocket up because that's just sacred site money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean you get 50% more with the deli, so that's a lot of that's a lot of gold, right? Is it? No, it's not 50. It's 25%.
Yeah, you get 125 per minute. But yeah, which I mean, still. But when you have 3 sacred sites, that's 300. That's almost 400 gold a minute in doing nothing.
Yes. Yeah, and then
man, if my Civ just gave me 400 gold a minute, I'd be playing Roos. Like, what the frick?
Don't bring up.
And even
Roos
then,
again.
I'd still have to be playing I'd still have to be in age 3 to do it.
Yeah, well.
Actually, no. You can get that. You can get that in feudal age. Just go pro scouts.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh god, Roos is gonna get so freaking nerfed in 2 weeks. Chat. Like.
Oh yeah. Yes. They
Oh
will.
man, it's gonna be so bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What do you think? Gullyd3ck3l tapped out too soon?
No, that game was so over.
Okay.
I think that Gullyd3ck3l definitely. Oh crap. Were you in that party with me?
I was in a party with you. Why?
No, because never mind. Give me a moment. By the way, chat, our next game is gonna be on Baldlands, which is the silliest name for a map ever because it should be called Badlands, and it's going to be SAS playing the Abbasid and Gullyd3ck3l playing the Malians.
Okay.
Send me a group invite, please.
Yeah, I will. I think I did that, but I will do that again. You're in a lobby. Okay, now it says online. Well, the thing is, why I'm asking if it was like too soon is if you're looking at military like KD and things like that and eco like resources gathered, it looked fairly similar, like even. But I mean, I do get that it was pretty much over.
So let me put it like this: How was Gullyd3ck3l going to get outside of his base to stop a sacred site?
Yeah, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Yeah.
Like, because anything he makes is going if he tries to trickle out one unit to go into cap, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, it doesn't.
If he tries to sit there and mass up the entire time he's massing up, he's going to be fighting against SAS, keeping him in his base to stop him from massing up. The entire thing is it's just super bad for him.
Yeah.
So he's never going to be in a good position to continue he's never going to be in a good position there. So, which is super unfortunate for him. And again, this matchup is just super freaking rough because he never got anywhere, he tried to charge that one villager and then it didn't do anything.
Yeah. No, I mean it does make sense, yeah.
Yeah, I really do think that I really do believe that the decision to quit out when he did was the right one. And I definitely understand why he did. And I really do I know when I came in and I was all, I am the person here to tell you what's right, and it was very boisterous and fun. I wasn't joking when I said that SAS outdrafted Gullyd3ck3l immensely.
Yeah, no.
With the exception of game 1, every single draft has been every single game's matchup has been massively in SAS's favor. And even then, I don't think SAS was out. I don't even think that game 1 on paper the matchup was that bad for SAS.
No, it wasn't. No.
So yeah, like I really do feel like this has been at every point has been just a bad time for Gullyd3ck3l. I do think that like I think that Abbasid is favored against Malians like a little bit, like, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as the other matchups we've seen. So I think that Gullyd3ck3l can win this. I think Gullyd3ck3l can bring us to a game game 5. And that is definitely an option, but we'll have to see. And especially because this is Badlands, keep in mind this is a food scarce map, which means that cheaper farms from Abbasid are going to be relevant.
Yeah.
And cows are going to be relevant because it's free food.
Yes, that is true.
Also, neither civ can go for the boars. Like there is legitimately 4,400 resources on this map that just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because these are both Muslim civs.
True. Yeah. That's a good point.
So yeah, like it being a food scarce map is even more scarce in this case for both players. Is kind of my point. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. Do you think we're gonna see an economic wing or a military wing for our first wing, or a culture wing?
Oh, that's a very tough call. I would expect a military wing because of the pit mine, and so now SAS has scouted it out. Oh, sorry, quite nicely here, and he knows it is way outside of the town center. He could easily torch down everything here. So I would not be surprised.
That being a very forward gold is rather unfortunate for Gullyd3ck3l.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad levels of unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if it would have been closer, or if you swap, like, the berries with the pit mine, then I could imagine seeing the eco wing first. But against a pit mine like that, I think SAS can, not risk it, but like for lack of a better term, can risk going a more aggressive play with the Abbasid, going with the military wing, and then kind of try to snowball it from there.
I'm trying to think of hold on. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a better word than risk it, like for this context.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right, but I don't know what the best term would be. So I'm gonna have to think on that one. Anyway, but yeah, like you are right. We are seeing a military wing coming out, and this is such a forward gold. Like even the back houses aren't under the TC.
Yeah.
Like this is I don't know if judging by how it's the exact same for SAS, this feels like it's a feature of the map and not a bug. But it's a hell of a feature.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is a feature actually, because yeah, as you mentioned, they're kind of mirrored in a sense, how far out the gold is, and so that's just how it is. But it's just so forward, like it feels like it's almost on halfway on the map. It's in the middle of the map, basically the first gold. And so walking out there with your military units, military wing units, you can just torch down everything here, and Gullyd3ck3l will not be able to react to that appropriately in any way. And then also the thing with the Abbasid is they don't have to do anything, research anything, don't go for the blacksmith and so on, and they can still just construct siege on the field. And so if he wanted to march forward, he could just drop a ram and then try to go for the monster quarry as well afterwards. And the warrior scouts are not gonna do anything here.
Well, the warrior scouts are going to do something if these archers don't get near the spearmen.
Yeah. Okay. True. That is.
Now, okay, spearmen are coming up. One funny thing is regular scouts still deal bonus damage to warrior scouts.
Yeah.
Which is a little to me is a little bit funny to think about. But yeah, so we do see a warrior scout play with pro scouts being researched by Gullyd3ck3l as he goes for an archery range and a stables. And on the other side of the map, we see archery range. We see a 1-1-1 build coming out of SAS. He is getting archery range barracks and stables. He's just trying to keep this going. And he's also getting a couple of his eco upgrades. He's not going super heavy on it, but he is definitely trying to just secure a small eco advantage that way as he burns down the pit mines and the houses and the houses surrounding them.
Yeah, and I mean that is definitely a small eco lead here already, just because you have to, yeah, you have to rebuild your houses, and that always sucks as the Malians, so you just don't like to do that, obviously. And now we have a little bit of a fight here. Warrior Scouts against the Spearmen. They're still, oh, okay, no, they're hardened Spearmen by now, so that is good. But
so another thing to point out here also, with the way this matchup is, or like the way this skirmish is playing out, the longer these Warrior Scouts are defending this pit mine, the longer it takes for them to start pro scouting.
yeah.
Like, that is all SAS cares about, is forcing his opponent to defend with Warrior Scouts means that they're not being allowed to. He's not getting what he wants. And a couple of these Warrior Scouts have gone down. Like, the destroyed value is fairly high for both players at this point. But so far, I would say this is probably favoring Gullyd3ck3l, or probably favoring SAS, because he has kept Gullyd3ck3l from doing anything this entire time. Like, the pit mine has not been nearly as effective as it should be, and like, Gullyd3ck3l didn't want to build these archers,
Yeah.
but he had to.
Yeah, and I agree. So, like, in terms of who invested how much and lost how much, then SAS would be in a disadvantage. But as you pointed out, like, if his objective is to stop the pro scouts from doing anything, then he definitely succeeded. And Gullyd3ck3l spent all those resources into the going for the pro scouts, and wasn't really able to successfully do anything here with it. He can push out a little bit now with the archers, so that is something that he can utilize now, but it just heavily delayed him, and SAS is fine with that for now, I think.
No, I completely agree. Also, do keep in mind SAS is still getting a second TC during all of this. He is 20 stone away.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And
like
he has enough.
Even though he doesn't have the discount, you know, you're still allowed to go for a second town center.
Oh yeah, I mean the discount is for going for 3 town centers.
Yeah. And then also, if you want to spam houses to get your golden age up and all that, then yes, it feels nice. But regardless of that, you can go for a second town center no matter what, and that's fine. And then once you go for castle age, then you can decide on if you want to go for the eco wing to get the Fertile Crescent and the agriculture later on. Speaking of which, what do you think? Like, what is his next? So, SAS, what do you do next? So you delay the pro scouts a little bit. You're going for a second TC. Yes, it's like 9.5 minutes in, so that's kind of late, of course, but that's fine because you did other things. What is your next angle of attack? What do you do now?
SAS is just gonna play for a feudal game. Like, that's all he wants to do. You can tell this because he's getting wheelbarrow. Like, he's still getting the text that he needs to. You're still getting the text that you want to get if you are playing feudal. Wheelbarrow, regular eco text. He's just got a blacksmith, which again, and he's getting +1 ranged armor, which is what you really want if you're diving TCs. So we're seeing a lot that indicates that SAS just wants to play it for a long feudal, which is fine. Like, you are Abbasid, it is one of your advantages is the ability to do that. So that's just all he wants to do, is he wants to just mass up. He wants to get a boatload of spearmen. He wants to get a boatload of archers. He's getting a couple camel archers just because he's in a position to be able to do so. And against Sofa and Warrior Scouts, they are pretty good. But and Citizen's Arrest right there.
But yeah, like that's just all his plan is he's just gonna slowly build he's just gonna slowly build his economy up and say, you know what, you can have your pro scouts. I'm gonna get my 2 TCs.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get enough damage here soon enough that it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, that definitely seems reasonable. Okay, turning it around, what do you do as Gullyd3ck3l now? Because you kind of you secured your pit mine, you went back to pro scouts, you did see that your opponent is on 2 TCs. Not a big surprise. What do you do next? So you have a couple of javelin throwers, which do very well against camel archers.
So I don't know. And I say this also. I want to point out, SAS is currently sitting at 1,400 food. Like I think he's trying to go castle. Like I think I was wrong, and he's actually going castle. Which just seems a little bit weird with the way he's macroed, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, because he just brought 8 villagers over from his food to his gold. I think he realized that he floated to castle, and he's just gonna commit to it now.
Yeah.
Because like he was getting a lot. He got like 3. SAS got 3 production buildings, and I was just like, oh yeah, like you're getting production buildings in feudal. You want to go for feudal pressure, and instead he just went for castle, which whatever. I think that realistically, Gullyd3ck3l wants to do what Gullyd3ck3l wants to continue doing. What you see Malians do, which is get their cows. And I think that once he has his cows, he's going to, try to use that as his economic advantage to make up for the fact that he's not going to have as many villagers. And once he gets that, then I think we're going to see, a lot of, we're just going to see castle age from both of these players. But in the meantime, we are going to see, Gullyd3ck3l do some very unusual diving under the TC. Just trying to get any damage he can.
Yeah, he did only find 1 villager so far, but he created a ton of idle time, which is good. That's definitely something that will help him. Now going on to the archery range, trying to burn a little bit on the production buildings. But in half a minute, he will find out as his opponent went for castle age, which I
he already saw the House of Wisdom.
Oh right, okay.
Like this is the entire reason he's diving, is he knows that SAS is trying to age up and he doesn't want to feel behind.
Well, I mean, even if he didn't see it, he can probably guess by now that if your opponent is not doing anything right now, he's not attacking you, he's not really defending, he's wanting you in, he's probably just gonna wait it out until he reaches castle age. So either way he can tell. And now we have the Eco Wing coming up.
Yep. And this also then gets into a very interesting problem as some Sofa and Warrior Scouts dive the gold as well. We're running into an interesting problem here where SAS doesn't have an army. Like, he has a bunch of just weird things, like a scout, a random camel rider, like a couple spearmen and a couple archers, and like that's really it. But he's starting to get tier 2 units. Like, we're starting to see Ghulams, we're starting to see Knights. And Gullyd3ck3l is going to have to respond to that very quickly, but most of his army is behind his base. And he's just kind of taking a very weird fight here. And it's not because he wants to, it's because he has to. Because of where his army was, because it got walled in this way. And this is something you see sometimes where when someone tries to be aggressive as someone ages up to castle, and they don't quite do anything with it, where they just lose like a feudal army for nothing. And the game evens out. Because, yeah, there are some Musafati on the field now, which are going to do a number on the Ghulams, but the Musafati weren't there. They weren't part of the army. They were there in response to the age up.
Yeah, I think that was for Gullyd3ck3l very unfortunate here, getting caught in the back of the base, nowhere to go, nowhere to run. We see boot camps coming up, or boot camp rather, so that's gonna help the Ghulams to be a little bit better in the fights. A little bit longer there, and then we have the composite bows also available to Abbasid for all the archers that he has. Well, 10 in total. The cavalry archer did make sense in the way that, you know, against the warrior scouts it did debuff them, so I guess that's maybe the reason for that.
Hey, we missed that Gullyd3ck3l got to Castle Age, by the way.
Yeah, he did go like while his army was trapped. That was really like unfortunate.
Yeah, he went with Farimba though.
Oh my.
Like he's going for the special javs because he doesn't want to deal with because he's doing it because of how much like I'm trying to think of how to put this. This is his way of dealing with composite bows, and also javs deal a high base damage, so they're good against gulams already.
True, and they also have the poison, right? So
yeah, they also have poison arrows because they're Mansa Javelineers. Yeah. So yeah, like the javelin thrower here actually counters pretty much everything that SAS is building, except for the knights. But even then, there's not really a lot of knights being made. It was just more of a like, oh hey, I have a stable and I just got to Castle Age, I may as well make some.
Yeah, right. So it was not he wasn't specializing on that one.
Yeah, like there's one stable, you may as well kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is very surprising to me to see these javelins, the Mansa javelins. I do not get to see this unit very often, which is really rather a pity. I'd really like the rework for Rimba Garrison. I think it's one of the cooler designs for a building, especially given on how one-dimensional that building used to be. But yeah, we see this fight happening where it's just SAS trying to push Gullyd3ck3l out of his base, and we see the strength of these Mansa Javelineers. I really didn't account for these when I was. I really haven't accounted for how powerful these units would be this entire game, but they're putting on massive damage. And yeah, like a knight and a horseman come in, but what are you gonna do if you just get picked apart with poison?
Yeah, also the thing is they're super fast actually, and so they can kite the infantry super well, and even against the knights. I mean, look at the knight, it just fell down. Like the lancer was killed so quickly. And so in one of the earlier games, actually, we did see the Mansa Javelineer being the choice against Rus, and was doing very well.
Yeah.
You know, against the horse archers and the man-at-arms. But then the issue was just that you can kite all day long, as long as you have space to go to, you know, where you can actually go to. And so the player just ran out of space and was stuck in his base, and it was just, then it was over. But like, as long as you can kite, they're really, really strong. And I do love the rework with the Farimba. It's just that the cow boom is still so strong with the Grand Fulani Corral that you still rarely see it. But I think it was a nice touch by the devs to have that rework done.
Yeah, and I think that one issue that the Farimba kind of runs into is the Farimba is a very good landmark when you already have a lot of one unit.
Yeah.
Like you already have a lot of javelins and you just want to push them like that little bit further.
Yeah.
But the issue that you run into is like you don't have that happen a lot because at the end of the day, Malians isn't a feudal civ. Like they don't want to be staying in feudal as long as possible. You know, it's not like you know, Mongols where you'll see a Mongol player age up eventually because they have to, and they have like 20 Keshins.
Yeah.
Like that's just not what's gonna happen. Even when Gullyd3ck3l aged up here, he only had like 8 javelins, but like he recognized just how good they would be in this specific situation.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's just a little bit of an issue that the landmark runs into, which is why it's not used as often. But doesn't really matter here. Like Gullyd3ck3l is, you know, he's behind 18 villagers, quote unquote, but like his economy is just as powerful because of the cows. And
cows
even without the Grand Fulani, like this is a lot of units, and they're all javelin throwers.
Yeah, and look at the
which
army
are very
value.
strong.
Look at the crazy army value here
my
for
God.
Gullyd3ck3l. It's more than 2-1 here. He could just.
I wonder about that one because I wonder.
Well,
There's
he does have twice the amount of units in general, and SAS, like besides the couple knights that he has, doesn't have super expensive units. So it could actually be true. I'm not sure, but it could be true.
Yeah, no, there's a part of me that kind of wonders whether or not the Monza upgrade somehow inflates the value of inflates the value of the javelin throwers and makes it look a lot worse than it is. Because he just lost half his army, but only lost 2,000 army value. You know?
Yeah.
Because when this fight started, Gullyd3ck3l was at 70 army.
Yeah, that is true. But
I feel like this might be a UI issue. Is all.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. It could actually just be that. I mean, to be fair, a javelin thrower is 120 resources, and I don't know how much a Musafati is. Hold on.
Musafati.
Musafati's 80.
Yeah, that's not much.
So it's about it's the same as a spear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it just seems a little bit off to me.
Yeah, you're right. It could actually be an UI issue, and yeah, I mean, if you had like more than 2 times the amount of army value, it would have seemed crazy to be getting pushed out like that. So probably was an UI issue. That might be true. But regardless, I mean, he's doing fine, and like he's cooking in the back, you know, having all the farm upgrades here. He even getting that pit mine here, which is kind of ballsy if you're looking at the map where it's located at.
Oh, the central one, yeah. So I really love how SAS is just like putting down a random wall on the right-hand side to limit the movement of Gullyd3ck3l. I don't know why, but this is just hilarious to me. But the other thing to point out is the villager lead for SAS has only grown this entire time. He was ahead by 8. Now he's ahead by 23. So he is slowly but surely getting ahead that way. And eventually he's going to hit a point where he just has more than the free resources that Malians get is going to make up for it. But another fight starting up here with the kiting from the javelin throwers as a raid comes in on the back end of Gullyd3ck3l's base.
Ooh, he's got to split up here. That's unfortunate. His javelineers are getting pushed way too much here. Now frontline is in trouble here for Gullyd3ck3l. That could spell trouble. In the meantime, we do have a little raid here coming in by SAS. Not finding too many villagers though, but at least, you know, do something.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate. SAS didn't even manage to kill like a cattle ranch to just slow down the passive food income it provides, which is also super unfortunate.
Just imagine how much overkill they do with this one unit there.
Oh god. Oh yeah, on these 4 villagers with the.
I mean, this must be one of the most painful deaths that you can ever experience.
Oh, we do see a key coming up on the central 8k gold for SAS. Like he is recognizing that he does not want to repeat game 1 where he gets locked out of the gold.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's why I think this wall is actually not that random, because it prevents any raids from the right side, and then you have the keep and the tower, the outpost here from the on the
the wall makes sense. It's just when it went up when there was none of this. It
felt super random, yeah.
It felt super random because there was nothing around it for it to be protecting. It was just a wall for the sake of having a wall is what it looked like at the time. Oh, that's a lot of villagers dying for SAS. Oh no.
Yeah, 30 villager kills here by Gullyd3ck3l. 32, 33. That is
SAS.
Oh my.
Yeah, SAS has unfortunately thrown away his villager lead. Like he actually used to be ahead.
Now he's not.
In the last minute, Gullyd3ck3l has killed
literally 30 villagers.
Yeah.
Like catching all these ones in the center on the gold, catching a bunch of them on the side. You see a 4 of the Hunters coming up from Gullyd3ck3l. Where is that going? I actually don't know where this 4 of the... Oh, wait.
Yeah,
next
it's
to the
coming up
8K.
here.
Like,
Yeah, it's coming up here.
on
So
the
that's gonna
8K and on the sacred site.
Yeah, so it's gonna secure
Okay.
this one. It's gonna secure the sacred site as well. Even in part the weird ass wood line here. I don't know what that is, but so that's gonna secure that as well. And in the
Mhm.
meantime, he's still like ahead in terms of villages, military even. And so that's gonna be a rude awakening for SAS to be greeted by the Fall of the Huntress and the Imperial Age that comes with it. Also, this map only has 2 sacred sites, both in possession of Gullyd3ck3l right now, one being guarded by the Fort of the Huntress. He could, well, he doesn't have any stones, so he cannot go for another keep here, but he could get a stone and then he could get that one. Oh, by
Yeah,
the way,
I
he's
think
also
that-
2 town centers, so that's also something.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Yeah,
Where's
so the
second
thing
town
is,
center?
you know, with the town center is not costing any stone, but with gold. Which, by the way, I mean,
Oh!
imagine you're building a building like as big as the town center, and you're just using freaking gold for that. I mean, why do you not see that here anyway?
I mean, yeah, but like Mansa Musa was actually that rich, you know?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, where is the second? Where's? Oh, it's literally right
Yeah,
next to the
it's
first one. I
literally
don't know why I
right
didn't
there,
see
you
that.
know.
I don't know why I didn't see that. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Gullyd3ck3l's got this one. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's a long 9 minutes. Like, I'm not expecting a sacred site victory per se, but he feels in control.
He definitely feels in
Um,
control. Yeah, he's getting all the upgrades now, so he will be imp, like true imp, you know, with all the upgrades and stuff in place. Before this raid really gets like finds anything here, he should be able to put some quick walls down here. Hopefully, not really, I guess. Oh, wishful thinking. Kill this one wolf already, for goodness sake. So annoying, this one wolf over there. But yeah, he's moving. Okay, SAS is moving in with the raid here. A lot of villagers here on the run now, but there's the Fort of the Huntress, so that's at least some defense here. Donzo's moving in onto the horsemen and the lancers. So I think it's like 2
I mean,
villagers.
this raid isn't doing anything.
No, it killed 2 villagers, and that's basically it. But at the same time, he lost more military than that way. And
I mean, killing 2 villagers at this point in the game is effectively doing nothing.
yeah.
Because, like, 100 villagers for Malians is still a lot of villagers considering their passive income.
Yeah, not to mention that SAS is 10 villagers behind, and he was on 2 TCs for the last close to 20 minutes, so that's pretty rough. But at the same time, this raid now will be able to do something if Gullyd3ck3l doesn't react to that, because the pit mine here is under attack. Luckily for Gullyd3ck3l, there's still gold on that, so even if it gets burned down, he can just rebuild it, but needs to be careful here.
This is, oh god.
Yeah, and so as Ascalite was pointing out, so Gullyd3ck3l is denying the gold over here. With attacking the keep here, will shut it down, and that should, yeah, in a sense, that should be game ending here for SAS. He only has the 3 relics that will provide him with some gold, but other than that, he doesn't have anything. He was able to shut down the Hell Ranches here. That's some great damage that he is dealing. And super annoying to deal with for Gullyd3ck3l, obviously.
Yeah, the big saving grace for SAS is that because he's going Culture Wing, his upgrades are going to be cheaper if he lives that long. Because you still have to get that upgrade, which is a minute, and then get your upgrades, which is another 2 minutes, and
it's
SAS just says, you know what, let's go to game 5.
Yeah, it is a big if, and Gullyd3ck3l is taking that one, and I'm very impressed. That was a great game by him.
Oh yeah, no, Gullyd3ck3l definitely played that very well, and I was very happy to see, like, we got a Farimba game, which is something I've been asking for every time I cast, and it really as somebody who doesn't play Malians, like games like this really make me want to play Malians because you just see how different of a civ they can be. But yeah, it's just like that set of raids he got at about the 25-minute mark where he just killed so many villagers, just won him this game so hard.
Yeah.
Because the economic advantage that SAS should have as an Abbasid player just never wasn't there for the last part of the game. And it really started to show when it came to defending that gold vein.
Yeah, and I mean, other than that, in terms of resources, it was a fairly close game, I want to say, except for the gold part, obviously. But it was, yeah, I mean, from that point on, it would have gone downhill for SAS, so it was, I guess, the right call to tap out here and just go for game 5. Why not? And I'm glad I could, grant you your wish to cast a Malian game. The first time casting with me, and there you go. Should have done that earlier, I guess, but
well,
better
here
late
we
than
are.
never.
And so who do we get for our last?
So the last map is gonna be Dry Arabia, so saving the best for last, I guess.
Ooh. French versus Order of the Dragon.
Okay, alright.
Oh no.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, we talked about the
no.
draft for a while, but I think we didn't really mention French versus Order of the Dragon matchup. What do you think about that?
I have no idea because we are definitely in a situation where I think if Order of the Dragon is played the way it has historically been played, which is to say, like a can I get an invite by the way? To say like a HRE ripoff. I think they're gonna lose because I don't think they're gonna do that. But if we see Gullyd3ck3l be super aggressive and we see like a big feudal game, I think we're gonna see something interesting.
Well, I think we're gonna see something interesting either way, but I get your point. So, all right. So, wow, best of 5. This is the final game, and that's gonna decide who is gonna win this Warchief Club's final. SAS versus Gullyd3ck3l. We're going right into the game. Gullyd3ck3l in yellow playing Order of the Dragon against blue SAS French on Dry Arabia. So SAS is starting on the right side here. Let's pause it real quick for the game to catch up. And so yeah, SAS versus, we're gonna see some Dark Age barracks. So not a proxy barracks, so is this gonna be safe and close underneath the town center?
Oh, I mean you don't proxy barracks to Dark Age barracks,
No.
like that's just pointless. Okay. The only time that would ever happen is if we somehow ended up in a position where villagers were faster than spears, because it would be faster to walk and then build.
Right, yeah.
But that's never gonna happen, I hope, because there are a lot of problems that could happen if that was possible. Anyway,
that would be an
you're never gonna kill a villager again. Let's face it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely something that you can see happen because this is something that.
Well, in that case, let's fucking go.
Sorry, chat. We were doing like an emergency fix here, so we apologize if the sound is back. If the sound is weird. Are you at 245?
I am at 245. Give me a countdown.
All right, we are going in 3, 2, 1, go. But yeah, so we have Gullyd3ck3l just doing Order of the Dragon things, killing people with spears in the Dark Age.
Yeah, but he's diving the town center, and never mind. It was totally worth it. He killed a vill. It's fine.
Is that worth it?
It is still worth it. It's, you want to keep that spear around if you can, but hey, killing a Vil is already definitely worth it for him. The only sad part about it is he didn't let SAS finish the tower, so he didn't really force it out. SAS is gonna cancel it if there's no other aggression coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold that this is a net positive for Gullyd3ck3l. I think this is not what he wants. But we do see mine work coming out of one side and School of Cavalry coming out of the other. You can take a guess as to who is building what. You get no points if you guess correctly. But
You know, I think you can just go do both as OTD in this matchup. Like the Aachen would be nice because you can put it on the wood line there in between 3 wood lines actually and the gold.
yeah,
It's still somewhat forward, which is not the greatest, but yeah.
I mean, the thing
Hey,
is,
Mano, how you doing?
I don't think you actually have enough range on the Order of the Dragon, like on the Aachen for it to really be effective. Like you say, you can put it in between 3 wood lines, but you're gonna get like 5 trees in each wood line if you try that.
No. It's more like the defensive aspect of the wood lines.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I don't know. I don't hate the Aachen. I don't hate the mine work either. I think that both of the Order of the Dragon landmarks are pretty good here. So seeing them get picked up is pretty nice.
Usable. SAS canceled the tower, by the way, so that is 100 wood back in his pocket. And if we look at his current resource setup, I mean, both his deer pack are right next to his base together. Your guess is as good as mine. What he's gonna do?
He's going pro scouts.
Oh wow, daring. Okay, Gully's up. His current setup, he also has a mill ready. He did not queue any wheelbarrow. Hey, look, it's Pro Scouts on both at the same second.
Yeah. Aren't you glad this is our last LEL or our last Warchiefs Club on this patch?
It might not be.
Crap. I was hoping not to see this again. Guys, I love this game, but there is like, and I like Pro Scouts. I actually think it's a cool idea for a tech, but like,
it's a cool tech. It forces a lot of multitasking. It forces a lot of skill expression. But at the same time, can we please have anything else be viable?
Yeah, like, it is a good tech when it is not oppressive. And it is very oppressive when it's good. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh,
By the by, we do have a first night out coming around the wood line at the top side there of Gullies, and that gold is very exposed, but Scout is here and is gonna watch that knight come in. Hello, any reactions? Okay, at least we got a reaction.
do keep in mind, like, with the extra HP, it's very
it's not
difficult
2
to
hits, so that's
kill.
nice.
Yeah, I don't even think is it 3? Yeah, it is 3.
It is 3, yeah, with the charge damage bonus that the French get. And the Spearman is already out, so SAS cannot stick around. Do we already have an archery range? Nope. No archery range for French, we just pro scouted.
Oh my god, it takes 4 hits from a spearman to kill a knight? What? Also, why did that knight just die?
Apparently SAS suffered from some sleep sickness. Your guess is as good as mine.
It is like 2 a.m. for him, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's like, because he's what, 2 hours ahead of you?
He is, yeah.
Yeah,
every time I think to myself, oh my god, I should have gone to bed 2 hours ago, and SAS is still up. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. I do want to point out that, like, Gullyd3ck3l did get Pro Scouts, but he didn't build his stables until after Pro Scouts was done.
Yeah, and if you look at the left side there on his second deer pack, I say. Yeah, not a great showing.
I see running away with his deer. Yeah.
Yeah, but he does have a spearman there and 2 more on the way. So if he can intercept these scouts, and he knows where they're going, because he just saw them leave, then how many hits is that? I think the spear does like, what, 52 per hit? Okay, he needs actually 3 hits to kill a scout.
Really?
Let's find out if I was wrong. Never mind, we're not gonna find out.
Huh. That is, yeah, barely.
Okay, hold up. How much does it? It does, yeah, 52.
It does 52.
But yeah, Gully is just a little bit too late because he favored more spears there, and his stable was late. And he also went for the wall on the right side. So kind of a weird move by him to. I guess he just didn't want his gold denied, but that's like the decision you have to make at that second. To say, I went for this build specifically to have more spears out to protect my deer pack. So maybe move them there instead of having them in the gold.
Yeah, well, especially because, like, let's face it, Gully hasn't actually used his gold for anything. Other
He's
than
sitting
get
on
pro scouts.
224.
Yeah, right.
He has the mine work, so his upgrades are now cheaper, which is really nice. But
Right, but it's only blacksmith.
queued them yet.
It's not affecting his like. My point is like the only thing that Gully has used gold for this entire game after aging up is pro scouts, survival techniques, and ranged armor.
Mm-hmm. By the way, have you taken a look at the French base in recent times?
No, because I
There's
try to avoid looking at anything French just on it as a moral reason. But
You know, you'd make a great German, but I was referring to that barracks he has out and those spears he made.
yeah, well, because he couldn't use his knights to defend his own pro scouts. Because he kind of can, but Gully has a stable out and he already went into horsemen. And if you move your archers on the map, the knights cannot protect them because these horsemen, they just hit so hard and they're so tanky, they will just kill and then they move back. Yeah. How much did Gully get from here? I don't think he got a single deer from SAS. Burgrave coming up for OTD. Oh, he certainly didn't. I don't even think he got four deer out of his left deer pack. Or
no, he just killed a scout at the top side, so he got 1, 2, 3.
He might have.
Yeah, he got 4. He got 4.
That's so bad.
Yeah, SAS pretty happy with that one.
Especially since one of the deer pack he got the full amount of was never going to get taken anyway because of the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I should have prioritized the other one, but like it's fine. You need to get some food under your TC immediately. So I get that he went for that. SAS is a little overextended here, so this army is going to die. There is 3 knights on the left, but there's 2 order spears here. Like you can't engage this right now.
It's 3 now, yeah. Come on, fight the spears. Fight the spears.
He wants to get a charge through. That would have been nice, but no, Gully's on the ball. Burgrave's already through. What is SAS doing against this?
I'm gonna
knights queued.
I'm gonna say my random complaint here, but why does the Burgrave not affect? Or wait, hold on. Does it?
What do you mean?
Why does the Burgrave not affect? Why is the text in the Burgrave not cheaper too?
Oh, I don't know.
Because they research faster, but they aren't cheaper.
You know, I think that Burgrave is already pretty damn good. Like, if
I'm saying it should do what it says on the box.
Let me say what the box. What does the box? It produces 35 faster, 35 cheaper. Research technology is 35 faster. So it does not say anything about cheaper techs.
It actually specifies that techs are different. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, techs are different. It is like that. I've never read this box, but
I'm pretty certain. I am fairly certain that that at launch it said it didn't have that last sentence, and that the texts were. The texts were cheaper too then.
I mean, here's the thing. At launch, everyone considered Burgrave, OTD Burgrave, to be utter trash. And now it's really good.
Despite the fact that it hasn't changed. And people just
It hasn't changed at all. People have just woken up one day and realized, hey, this thing is... Chat Knights are running straight into charge.
Okay. We managed to survive. Can we get a heal?
Does not look like it. SAS is about to go to castle as well. Just needs a little bit more
Inspired
gold. His back gold, 1500 left.
Oh god,
and he's on the
knights.
board on the
These
left.
knights again.
Why is he going out that way? I mean,
There
it's
was a
keeping.
gate. There was a gate next to his gold. He could have gone out that way.
Yeah,
Like
but
his-
he's moving out there with the prelate right now, so that's why he didn't went out like that. But SAS's army pretty big there. Can he do any damage? There is some villagers out on the berries at the bottom side, and Gullyd doesn't have a lot of deer left, so his food situation is really bad.
My game is frozen.
That is an issue. Mine is not, but you are the one controlling the
Oh,
stream.
we're good. We're back.
Royal Institute is coming up for SAS. Like, the problem right now for Gullyd is his food is going to run out in like
what time is it for you?
It is 1407, 1409.
Okay, hold on.
Chat Knights have arrived at the French gold in the back.
Yep. And they're getting-
And there's 7 spears.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, this would be so cool if the spears weren't there. But unfortunately, they are.
Yeah. SAS knows that Gullyd doesn't have any food, so Gullyd needs to take a really big. Oh my god, the knights are dead!
Oh
he
god,
forgot about them.
I just assumed they would survive. I figured they would just run away and be fine.
Oh god, and
Also,
SAS has a
SAS is
spearman
castle.
on the berries on the right side. So he knows that Gullyd went out to that food, and he's gonna. Oh, and he has an archer on the relic. This is so bad for Gullyd. Look, he's moving out. He needs a good fight. He needs to force SAS into an engagement before the upgrades kick in, and just so he can go out on the map and get some food.
Gilded men at arms. Oh no. Okay, never mind. For some reason, I thought these men at arms were early still. Oh god. Yeah. No, we're.
Here come the farms. That's a lot of wood just invested into farms, and they'll need a second to kick in. Meanwhile, SAS still eating that boar. Where's the other boar? All the way on the left. Okay.
Yeah, this map was
SAS
very weirdly spawned. But yeah, we're not feeling very good here.
So,
I think
so
we're fine. I think Gullyd has this.
okay. I mean, he's bringing his second relic home. Third prelate is already on the way to the left there, and SAS left this relic alone now. But we have 10 knights, 13 archers. I mean, you see how good the Burgrave is, right? It's constantly producing. What was the number, actually? I think it was something 700-ish resources per minute that you save.
Oh, I have no idea. I'd have to.
If you constantly produce, it's really good.
Yeah, I think that I have no idea what that number is going to be, because it's also going to be dependent upon what you are building. Like, the amount you save is going to be different if it's men at arms versus if it's going to be.
Oh yeah, like that is if you produce Landsknecht, so it's less if you lose men at arms, and we don't see any Landsknecht, but
Although they'd be very
SAS
good here.
actually. Oh, that would have been.
Oh
that would
no!
have been
Oh no!
scary.
Run away! Run away! Run away! Okay, so we managed to survive. We managed to survive getting Wololoed.
But this is not a fight SAS wants right now, because the crossbows in the back, they're just not being targeted. The horsemen are still going strong. If we can get rid of the horsemen, he can actually kite here. But like this, he's just gonna lose. He doesn't have a lot of spears.
By the way, there
Nice
is Inspired
charge.
Warriors. I don't think we've talked about that.
Yeah, Inspired
Like,
Warriors
that
is
tech
really
is
good.
really good on Order of the Dragon. It's not great on. It's not great on HRE, but on Order of the Dragon,
It's still
actually
good.
Super good.
Oh my god, SAS took a horrible fight there in the middle. Now we do see some Arbalists come out, and they'll be extremely good, because Gullyd is mostly Gilded Men at Arms. He's going into more spears now from the Burgrave, now that he arrived. Because, I mean, SAS's answer move is pretty obvious, but does Gullyd know about that boar?
He does, and he also knows about the gold.
Okay, so that's 5 vills, that's an issue. But I think he's going for the gold right now. Yeah,
He's
towers
going
are not upgraded.
Yeah, but oh god, like they're standing there menacingly, not knowing about each other.
Honestly, like SAS has the counter units here, but Gullyd has about an equal size army, which is not a good news if you're not OTD.
Yeah, God, I mean, like there's so many REW115.
Yeah,
I mean,
if the spears all go down, then the knights can actually fight evenly against these men-at-arms. But other than that, the SAS's comp is really good, and Gullyd's reinforcements are, oh my god, he just casually has 5 units standing around in the middle of the map, and he's just losing this fight so hard. This is horrible. Like, why are these reinforcements not joining? Now they're going home, which is great because, well, we just threw away a lot of value.
Yeah, I feel like if Gullyd3ck3l had his entire army with him during that fight, I think he would have won it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not what
you know
happened.
what? It looks a lot better for Gullyd now because he actually is still alive with his farm eco because he took some really good fights and he actually took the sacreds too. That's great because they're giving a lot of gold income.
Another fight at the sacred site?
Yeah. Is SAS splitting the ranged units? No, it does not look like it. They're one control group and they're... Okay, right now it's just auto-firing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, Gullyd keeps having this issue where, like, part of his army overextends and gets away from the rest of his army, and then he just gets picked apart. If he would just slow down and get his entire army together and keep it together for the duration of the fight, I think he'd actually win. And, like, he'd win convincingly, because, you know, this 47 eco, or this 47 army count is really big, especially when you're considering the fact that these are high HP units that are being healed.
Yeah, that's a Burgrave effect right there. You just constantly produce all of these super high value units for cheap, and then you actually don't need as much food income, otherwise you could never afford this. And then putting in the healing is a really nice touch. Oh, and there's a Gilded Horseman on the Eastern Sacred side that's gonna clean up everything there. Yeah, SAS is losing all of his knights again. He just has to go pure obelisks right now at this point, and that's not a great feeling. And Gullyd is also pumping out horsemen as we speak because he does have the income to do some additional things now. Hey, you know what? This is really not great for SAS. He's not happy. We do see Royal Bloodlines finally come in for his 0 knights.
Yeah, I was about to mention that is because I realized SAS doesn't have, what's it called? Oh my gosh.
You know what?
Wow.
That's Burgrave just walking all over.
I mean, I
thought SAS could keep him contained in his base.
I didn't think. Yeah, no, okay. I thought Gullyd3ck3l was in a lot of trouble for a fair bit of that game, but apparently he just said, "GTFO, I want to go to bed," and figured if he won quickly, he could do that. Holy crap! You know.
Yeah,
like,
SAS just overextended with the army just a little bit. Couldn't take the fight right there. Too many horsemen, and he can't really retreat at that moment. And then everything went south.
No, you're completely correct. Like when Gullyd was doing that farm transition, I thought he was in a lot of trouble, and SAS just wasn't able to apply the pressure he needed to really get him into trouble then. And it
was just a little bit late there. Like, yeah. I feel like he could have aged up just a little bit faster, a little bit of miss macro, but
yeah, no, like that was a great game. I am very, very surprised